a lot of things to get to, a lot of things to talk about. I am Rob Brown. Howdy, pleasure's all mine. Directly across from me on the other side of the metaphorical glass this AM, in charge of making the show sound as good as it does and succeeding every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Sultan of Swag, the Professor of Perfection, the Wizard of Wave, the Alpha and the Omega of the Fan Upstate, the conductor of the Symphony of Sound that is the Rob Brown Show. He is the great one, Lonzo Wright. So what's up, dog?
Let me quote a song that says, when you only have 100 years to live, I ain't got time to talk a million things today.
Like at least 13, right? We'll get to at least 13 things on the show.
13 things. We can do 13.
We can go. Let's a day at a time.
We could absolutely do 13.
A day at a time. Today 13, tomorrow 14, the day after that 15. By the end of the week, we'll be at like 100. I do have to ask a question here. How am I supposed to deal? And a lot of you Panthers fans are going to lean in on this, and I respect it. I get it. I would do the same thing if the roles were reversed. How am I supposed to deal with the fact that my football team has returned to irrelevancy? How am I supposed to deal with the fact that my team doesn't matter anymore? That we had our run, that we had a good run, we got our Lombardi, we made a few playoff pushes, we had a Hall of Famer at quarterback, we had a really good backfield, we had great receivers, we had a good head coach, and now we have none of those things.
This is a teachable moment for you and the audience, the portion of the audience that wears orange, because you can teach them where they're headed. Back to irrelevancy, and you can help them by showing by example how you handle it when your team's not doing well, and they can look to you for guidance.
We shall hold hands and walk together into the abyss.
There you go. It's dark there, but at least you've got each other.
Like, let me ask you this. Here's what I was thinking last night. So last night I was hosting a chat on the BetQL app during the game, right? And it's old school, like AOL chat room style. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. Like, if you'd have told me a handful of weeks ago that I was going to be hosting an AOL chat room style chat during the game, I'd have been like, no way that works. But it was actually a good time. We actually had a lot of fun last night. So I'm sitting on the couch. It's like midway through the second quarter. I'm pecking away at the keyboard, banging out messages. Oh, because the Ravens defense is doing this. I might throw a little coin here on Kamara to go over, 20 yards rushing in this quarter. Whatever little bets here and there I could come up with. And the Saints did whatever dumbass thing they did this time. And I just screamed on the couch, just shouted, what the bleep are we doing? And the girlfriend looks at me and she's like, your blood pressure's probably too high. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. It probably is. I got mad enough, Lonzo, that at 8:50, she was like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go in the bed. I'm going to go read a book. I was like, shut the door because I'm going to get louder once you leave the room. This is my, toned down response to what's happening right now. It was not good. And so I've got this thought, and I'm asking this because I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to deal with it. Half of my dumb lizard brain is like, all right, you're banged up, right? If Jarvis Landry is available last night, you're probably better off. You lost 3 starting offensive linemen, 1 before the game, 2 in it. Defensively, you were missing your best defensive back in Marshawn Lattimore. Pete Werner, who is the NFL's leading tackler going into week 9, was missing after the third quarter, like mid-third quarter. He went out with an injury, right? The Saints have an entire wing of the local hospital banged up. And I'm not going to spend all day talking Saints, but my team played last night and I'm having an existential football crisis. Freaking deal with it. So on one hand, Zoe, I'm like, we're banged up. We're hurt, right? There's a lot of injuries on this team. And this team at full strength is much better than they showed last night. But at the same time, it's very clear that the coaching staff is garbage. It's just bad. Dennis Allen's not the guy. I don't know why it is that NFL owners and GMs keep going, yeah, well, this guy sucked over there. Maybe he won't suck over here. There have been like 2 coaches in history that sucked somewhere and came somewhere else. And the only reason Hoodie is in that group is because he got Brady.
By the way, someone is changing that trend, and we'll get to that later.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Because the Indianapolis Colts went the hell to the other end of that spectrum. And yes, we will talk about that.
Be careful what you wish for. I mean, you know.
I'm curious how it works out, right? Like,
me too.
You can't lose.
Me too.
You can't lose,
yeah.
right? We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm glad you brought that up because I was kind of segueing in that direction. Dennis Allen sucked as the head coach of the Raiders. There are just guys who are coordinators. That's just what they are. They're just coordinators. They hit coordinator, and that is it's the I know I've talked about it on the show. It's the Peter principle, right? The concept of the Peter principle. Everybody gets promoted eventually to one spot higher than they are supposed to be, right? Because if you work in a restaurant and you start as the busboy and you do a killer job at the busboy, they're like, all right, let's give you a crack at waiter. And then you go in and do a killer job at waiter. So let's promote you to barback. Then you go to barback. And you do a great job. And they go, let's move you to bartender. You do a great bartender job. And then they go, let's make you assistant manager. And you do a great job as the assistant manager. And then they move you to manager and you suck because your roof, your highest ability is assistant manager. You're not cut out to be a manager. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There might be another career field where your roof is way higher than that. But you're in the career field that you're in, and there is a limit to what you are capable of. Dennis Allen is a fine defensive coordinator and a hot garbage head coach. That's just what it is. You got Taysom Hill, who's been tearing it up the last 2 weeks. Last night, you find yourself in trouble, and what do? Taysom ran it, 5 times? Threw it once? Guys standing on the sideline while Andy Dalton is getting his back broken like Bane to the Batman.
Oh, that old man was getting hurt.
Yeah. The red rifle was misfiring, just getting rocked. And it's like, hey, Dennis, there's a guy right there that can, make that stop.
I do have to say that Andy Dalton does look like a villain. So he just, the red, he looks evil. So, and last night
poor Gingers, man. Gingers just can't win.
No, it's just a particular
just that
flare of that. This morning, that dude is sore. He is not moving well.
Oh, yeah. Halfway through the game, Troy Aikman's like, yeah, they better get a real comfortable pillow on the seat in Andy Dalton's locker.
I always wondered what happened to Justin Houston after he left Kansas City. Now I know where he is.
Dude, it just sucked. And when are we going to break this trend of guys going out, teams going out, and stop hiring guys who failed miserably as head coaches to let's try again.
But see, here's the problem with this. There are complaints about what you're complaining there, and then people will complain, why are they hiring a college coach for? He doesn't know how to do this in the NFL. So how do you hire in the NFL? To make someone happy.
You try new blood with NFL experience. You get coordinators, you get assistant coaches, you get guys who have come up through the ranks, who have done. And listen, you're still gonna misfire, right? They misfired. Dennis Allen could have. Sean Payton was a coordinator. They bring in Sean Payton to be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, right? Comes out of Dallas. He's a coordinator. He's an assistant coach. They took a shot. Worked out pretty well for New Orleans. They got their first, last, and only Lombardi, right? You're gonna hire Sean McVay is another dude that came out of being a coordinator. Young cat too, right? What was he, 19 when he got that job? Mike McDaniel Mike McDaniel came out as an assistant, as a coordinator, got the job for the Miami Dolphins. Mike Daniel is 39 years old. What the hell am I doing with my life? He is 39 years old. They picked him up. Everybody went, who's this nerd? Who's this nerd? And all of a sudden, the Miami Dolphins are one of the best 3 or 4 teams in freaking football because of Mike McDaniel. Go try something new. Instead of letting a guy like Dennis Allen show up, who has already failed at the job and doing it again. It's like when South Carolina hired Will Muschamp, Alonzo. I was on the air in Florida. I had rarely taught Carolina football because they were irrelevant in Florida, right? Sorry, no offense. You just weren't relevant to the national conversation, so you were irrelevant in Florida. And they hired Muschamp, and I was going, what? What? The guy who already got his boat kicked in the exact same division, right? It's not like you brought in a guy who failed at the Pac-12 and you're like, well, maybe it'd be different over here. Or a guy who failed in the Big Ten and you're like, maybe some Big Ten offense can reshape the – he failed in your conference, in your division, at a better school. He failed. If I was a Gamecock fan, I'd have wanted every person in the athletic department fired the minute Will Muschamp put pen to paper. It was destined to fail. And now I'm watching my pro team do the same damn thing. The same thing. He already failed. In that job, he already failed. With, by the way, an owner at the time who was willing to sign away whatever he needed to make his team good. He failed. Why is he our head coach? What are we doing? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Lonzo.
No, I was just curious if he was under a coaching tree, and that's the reason why. Because there are certain coaches, anyone who has coached for them ends up getting a head coaching job, like Andy Reid. And maybe that's part of the reasoning.
Dennis Allen is part of the Sean Payton coaching tree. That's it. That's it. Gail Benson, the owner. Mickey Loomis, the GM, let Dennis Allen effectively inherit the job, right? Inherit the job. There were a lot of other candidates out there, Mike McDaniel included. Mike McDaniel, what do the Saints look like right now if Mike McDaniel's in charge of that offense? Right?
I don't know. He still would be having quarterback problems. But
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
The Saints have screwed themselves because here's the thing. If Jameis Winston can't beat out Andy Dalton, Jameis is done. So Jameis is done. Andy Dalton is a career backup quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would bend over backwards to make career backup NFL money. No question. Oh, by the way, you know where the Saints pick in the first round of next year's draft? They don't. They don't have a first-round pick because they gave it to Philly because they're dumb. Mickey Loomis has been arguably the best general manager in the NFL for a number of years. He's a salary cap wizard. He always has been. He is as good at numbers as anybody else. As anybody else. But the Saints are now back in salary cap hell. That's before they re-sign the guys they need to re-sign. You know what the pain is here, though? In allowing Dennis Allen, a guy who is a defensive coach, to inherit a team that was built to have offensive success with a good defense. He has no idea what the hell to do with the offense. I don't know how it is that the entire offensive staff under Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, has just absolutely boated the bed. They just forgot how to coach an offense. And on top of that, the defense isn't good, right? Dennis Allen, you're a defensive coach. If nothing else, your defense should be top 3 or 4 in the league. They're not awful. They're like 10, 12, something in there. But like, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? What's the point? Why are we here? We are irrelevant again, and I don't know how to handle it, right? I said after we won the Lombardi, if we never win another one, I'll go out happy, right? I got to experience the Super Bowl.
You lied there, didn't you?
No, I did. I can say I'm satisfied for life as a Saints fan. Anything after this is icing, right? Anything after this is another cherry. I got to experience it. More importantly, my dad got to experience a Super Bowl before he kicked, right? That's all I cared about. My dad got one before he left. That's all I care. I can die a happy Saints fan. But damn, at least try. At least try. What are we doing? Andy Dalton's over there getting rocked. If only we had a quarterback who could, extend plays laterally and be a threat with his, kind of like Lamar Jackson did. Saints were bringing people at the line. What do they do? Hey, Lamar, here's an idea. Run around him. Just run around him. If only we had a guy like that. We did. 7 standing on the sideline for all but 6 plays. After having, 7 touchdowns so far this year, we're like, must have forgot about Taysom.
Perhaps midseason mandates have been handed down to certain teams who are vying for a number 1 pick, but in this case, they don't have one.
Yeah.
But, is it possible they could trade to get one?
Trade what? We got nothing. We could trade players at this point because we got to get rid of numbers off the books. But, who on our team's commanding a first-round pick right now outside of Alvin Kamara? Who, by the way, we're not giving up. You got too much invested in him. We got nothing. We're done. In fact, you know what? Screw it. Trade Kamara because otherwise he's just going to spend what should be a Hall of Fame career wasting away on a 6-11 team for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
we suck.
Trade deadline's passed, so he's there for the rest of the season.
I meant after the year.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Now, I went into last night going, you know what? We win tonight. We're in a 3-way tie for first place. We've beat Atlanta. Tampa beat us, right? We can beat Tampa. We win this game. We're in a 3-way tie for first. Cool. Good job, everybody. All right, now. Skrilla said, Saints country, let's try. Damn, you had to come in here and make it personal. Woof. Woof. Sorry, Rob, to be like this, but it should be boat the bed. Yeah, I know. I was in a moment there, Luke. I was in a moment. Noted Atlanta Falcons fan Brandon said, there are worse Super Bowl fates. Trust me. I say Brandon's got between 28 and 3 reasons to believe that. Skrilla said, well, this is heated. No jokes. Yeah, no, I'm not happy.
Stop projecting your pain on other people.
I got the mic. I'll project who I want to.
Has this been cathartic for you? Are you starting? Yeah. Is it helping any?
Yes and no.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry that you guys get to be my sports therapist this AM. I texted Keegan last night. I'm like, the Saints need a therapist. Physical for the team, mental for me. I can't handle this. I can't handle it. All right. When we come back here in just a minute from... Oh, wait. No, Lonzo. You know I've got to read this one, right?
Yeah, I was hoping we'd get the break before you did.
No.
But go right ahead. Let's start some beef.
The very intellectual Bruce Delahorn has stepped up into the Facebook stream. And he said, well, I kind of want to read this in my NPR voice. I feel like it deserves it. Look at that guy's picture and tell me that's not the intellectual voice.
Yeah, I'm not going to be critical of someone else's looks. I mean, he looks a very distinguished gentleman.
I'm not.
And he's dressed really well.
And
I can't tell. Is that a turtleneck? Or is
it's a quarter zip, which, by the way, no hate on that. I'm a big fan of the quarter zip fleece. Big fan of the quarter zip fleece. It's a great look.
All right. That's only for pencil necks, though.
No, absolutely not. You can get away with the OLs because you can zip it down a little bit, right? Bruce Delahorn has stepped in and dropped this beautiful line on us. The biggest waste of time since the invention of doing your own research online is sports talk radio. The biggest waste of time is sports talk radio. As I've said many times, Brucey, baby, welcome to the show, Bruce. Glad to have you. Good to have a true intellectual thinker on the show. I wish I had a regular, like a wine glass instead of this glass, Lonzo, so I could hold it with 2 fingers and swirl it around while I had this discussion, you know? Welcome to the show, Bruce, you intellectual genius, you titan of thinking, you.
Don't let him get on you, Bruce. Welcome to the show. Hopefully you're still hanging around. I don't know how you found us, but we appreciate it. And tell your other intellectual friends.
The biggest waste of time since the invention of doing your own research online is sports talk radio. Well, 2 things here, Brucey, baby. Numero uno. The internet contains almost the entirety of human knowledge. You actually can do your own research online. The problem is that so many people do bad research. Well, Bruce, I'm sure you can set those folks straight with your big brain. Look at the big brain on Bruce. Second off, is this a waste of time? Sure. But I don't know if you know this, Bruce, but some people like to switch it off and just have a little fun. Sometimes it's fun to pull the stick out of your rectum and actually enjoy your morning.
Hey, come on. I get you're angry and everything. There are people out there, and I deal with this hate all the time. On another station, when things are their sport, like politics, or in Bruce's case, possibly
reading The Art of War is my daily light morning reading.
It could be. Good book, I understand. But I've never read it because I spend too much time doing research on the internet.
Bruce Delahorn, the great philosopher of our time, stopping by on the show. Bruce, sometimes life is allowed to, be fun. You can have fun.
I think
it's okay.
I don't think Bruce is real. I think that's a troll. I think someone pulled that picture off the internet while researching and went with that's a good that dude looks smart. I'm gonna go with that.
I don't know, man.
This smells of trolling from another show.
Nah, they ain't that good at it. I've listened. They ain't that good at it.
It could be another show in another state.
Steven said, hey, Bruce, we break down a lot more than sports. Best mayo and the fact that a true hot dog comes with mustard, chili, and onion. There it is. All right. Texture said, Rob and Lonzo, I listen to your show because I can't listen to TikTok hits on music channels. Hey, whatever floats your boat and flips your skirt, buddy. We're glad you're here. We don't care why you're here. We're just glad you are.
What are TikTok hits?
There's
an
entire
I don't have the TikTok on my phone. I need some help because I'm a grandpa.
You beat me to it.
I don't know how to do the TikTok on my telephone.
There's an entire genre of artists who only got popular because a 15-second clip of their song went viral on TikTok, and then people are like, what's the rest of that song sound like? Oh, crap. Got it. Okay. All right, Brucey, baby. We're having us a good day around here. All right. Marcus said, forget this community college English professor troll. Let's get on with the show. When we come back, speaking of making hilarious and weird decisions at the NFL level, Jim Irsay decided to go bananas with his replacement coach for Frank Reich yesterday. And let's just say old Jimmy's defense of it is Rob Brownian in nature. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
QC.
All right, guys, stay right there. Be right back, and it's going to get great.
Rob is really angry today. I mean, this is hitting him hard. I looked up Bruce just because I was curious. He appears to be a real person, so Sorry, I'm researching on the internet because I was. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. He left the job, and it was a place with AI in the title. Now we know. I don't know if that's actually a company, but now I gotta look that up. Rabbit holes. Whoa. Okay. All right. Used to work at a place called Unanimous AI, where their slogan is "We amplify intelligence." And Rob, so I just researched Bruce because he kind of dared us when he talked about do your research.
Yeah.
He left a company called Unanimous AI. Now we know. We're on to you. We're on to you. I guess I'm on the radar now.
You're on the. You put yourself on the grid.
Yeah, I knew it.
You're on the grid, Zoe. You've been found. Skynet is aware of you now. Zoe's compound has been compromised, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry, Rob, that you were in my vicinity.
Yeah, because now I'm on the grid too. Lonzo did his own research online, like Bruce suggested is a waste of time, and found out that Bruce left a company called
Unanimous AI.
Unanimous AI, which is even more threatening than if it was just called, AI Global or AI Company. Unanimous. Just one AI, one singular hive mind of artificial intelligence.
And Bruce lives in Big Ten country, supposedly. So, but this I'm not afraid. I'm taking the AI thing head on. So I mean, Zoe's gonna get, at least Miss Lisa's gonna get home tonight and be like, Lonzo, why is all the power and internet disconnected from the house? Why are there cut cables everywhere around the compound? Why are you burying the Alexa out in the yard?
Yeah, because of Bruce. All right. Let me get this in. Yesterday, in a I think quasi surprising move, the Indianapolis Colts got rid of Frank Reich, their longish time head coach. And they decided to bring in Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday, of course, the center for the Indianapolis Colts back during the Peyton Manning regime. He is an ESPN NFL analyst. I like Jeff Saturday a lot, right? As a dude, as a commenter, he's not really a hot take artist. Like, he's pretty good at the job as a commenter.
See, and I don't like him. I think he's vanilla and annoying and just, I mean, has no passion about him.
If you gave me him versus Mark Schlereth, I'm taking Saturday 99,500% of the time.
When Saturday's one of those guys, I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but when he's on, I change the channel because I know I'm not going to get anything that's going to do anything.
For the record, people say that about me all the time, right? But the thing is,
yeah, but I'm here to help that, so you're fine.
Saturday needs Alonzo. Here's the thing. If you do not jump on the hot take wagon, you can be described as vanilla. But I will take a guy who is genuine in his breakdown of football instead of the guy who goes, Dabo's done. He's done. Fire him. Fire him into the sun. Dabo, he's over. It's over for Clemson. They're done. The dynasty's dead. It's over. Clemson might as well be Stetson. They might as well be Coastal Carolina. Send them to the Sun Belt. It's over. Dabo don't know how to coach. You don't know how to coordinate. Like, I don't want that, right? That's just hot take artistry at its finest. And it's overrated to me. I'll take a Jeff Saturday.
You know who won't take a Jeff Saturday? Colts fans and probably the players.
We'll see. I did love
What if he's an evil mastermind and they win and he's just like on the podium? Hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I'm here. We just got lucky. I'm sorry. And it just kind of walks off.
I don't think that's going to be a problem. Because one of the first questions Jeff Saturday got in his introductory press conference was, hey, Jeff, who's going to call the plays Sunday? And his answer was, I don't know yet. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's Tuesday.
This is like when Chris Farley inherits the company.
Yes. Who's gonna call the play? We got a good staff here, and
we got an offensive coordinator. Yeah, that's what it's called. We got one of those.
Yeah.
We got one.
We'll pick somebody to coordinate the offense. We should find somebody to coordinate the offense.
Hey,
I bet we could come up with a title for that.
You want to come over and do that?
Hey, Jeff, I'm available if you need me. I was really good on it on Madden last year.
Yeah, you don't want to go up there. It's really cold.
I don't know, man. Yeah. The Saints have won 7 straight Super Bowls in my Madden franchise. I am building a dynasty.
Pat McAfee, offensive coordinator.
I don't hate it. Why not?
He's done everything else.
Yeah. YouTube goes viral as Pat McAfee polls his audience about what play should open up the next drive. The only thing I like more than Saturday's presser, and by the way, for the record, did find it refreshing, right? Because I'm tired. Like, Dennis Allen is killing me because he's the king of coach speech, right? They're like, DA, how are things going for you right now? And he's like, well, we got to block better. We got to run better. We got to run the ball. We found successful. And these guys have just got to go out to show a little pride and passion. Like, right. That's right.
So I didn't watch the press conference because every little clip I've seen of Saturday, it's basically going, they offered me some money, so I said yes.
Yeah. He's like, I love leading men and coaching, so I'm in. By the way, Jeff Saturday did lead, and I saw this morning on Twitter, so it's got to be real. I did my own research, Bruce. It's got to be real. Jeff Saturday, Lonzo, 3 years ago, led the 189th ranked high school offense in Georgia. So, I mean, he's called plays. 189th ranked offense in Georgia. It's got to be 3,000 high schools in Georgia. That's like top 10%. It's got to be worth something.
High school football over there is okay, so maybe it was a little challenge for him.
All right, so. Blah, 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 Saturday's press conference. The real meat and potatoes came from Jim Irsay's presser. Let me grab clip number 3, if you don't mind, Lonzo, because Jim Irsay got asked, and I think reasonably so, a lot of questions by the Indianapolis media. And the media said, hey, Jeff, why? And this is what Jim Irsay had to say.
He has tons of experience. He knows this game inside and out with relationships with coaches and players, and has been a consultant for us for several years, a paid consultant, informing Chris and I and other people in the organization, his opinions. So to me, I know people can, look out and see it and ask that question. But that doesn't surprise me. I understand. I don't know how to make sausage. I don't know what goes into sausage, but I do know how to build a football team because I've been around for 52 years.
Was that the most Rob Brown response you've ever heard in your life?
This is a billionaire dare. This is what this is. This is what the NFL owners were like. He's like, watch this. Watch what I'm going to do. That's what this was.
For those of you that have listened to the show for more than 7 to 12 minutes, you know that if Rob Brown is trying to make a point, 85% of the time he goes to a food analogy. What are my favorite analogies? Well, if you're cooking a steak, if you're running a restaurant, if you're working behind a bar.
Yeah, I've heard those a time or two. I have.
And I acknowledge him, right? Like everybody in radio's got their tick. Mark Ryan's got his fun little catchphrases. Rob Brown compares everything to food. That's why I look the way I look. It is what it is. All right. Irsay, why him? Irsay, I don't know how to make sausage, but football. Like what? What? Jim Irsay, Jeff Saturday has no experience as a head coach. How do you justify bringing in a guy who has no experience at any level at the NFL as your new head coach? Well, I got to tell you, I like pancakes, so Saturday seemed like the right guy. What?
Pancakes are awesome, by the way.
Big fan.
I haven't heard Irsay speak a whole lot. Does he always sound like that?
Yes.
He sounds like that guy who's been hitting the whiskey for years. You know, and just he has that whiskey sound in his voice he can't get rid of.
Listen, I'm not going to make accusations as to any substances Jim Irsay may or may not be involved with.
Weren't there like arrests or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
there sure were.
So him being high or drunk when he made this move is not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. I'm not saying he was or wasn't. All I'm saying is Jim Irsay got asked why a dude with no experience, and his answer was, I don't know how sausage gets made.
And then Jim's like, why is everyone here? Jim, it's an intervention.
Like,
you know what you just did?
My response to that is, Jim, you may not know how to make sausage. Do you know what you do when you don't know how to make sausage and you need sausage to be made? You go find somebody who knows how to make sausage. Somebody has showed you that they know how to make sausage. Somebody that can tell you this is the process to make sausage. And somebody who can show you sausage they've made. I like Jeff Saturday. I'm actually pulling for Jeff Saturday, right? I'm pulling for Jeff Saturday because if Jeff Saturday comes in and succeeds, right, then it will hopefully flip the way that NFL head coaches are found on its head. I think Mike McDaniels is already doing that. I would have liked to have thought Sean McVay did that, but the Rams are a dumpster fire the year after winning a Super Bowl. Has there been this bad of a Super Bowl hangover as the Rams right now? I mean, I'm sure there has, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Cincinnati. I know they didn't win it.
I'm talking about Super Bowl winners. I'm talking about the team with the Lombardi.
I think it's really hard to come back the next year. I don't think there have been that many repeat champions.
I'm not talking repeat champions. I'm talking teams that just crashed.
See, that's what that's what I mean. I mean, they worked so hard to get there. They got there, and then the next year is a letdown because that fire, that hunger is gone because you already achieved what you were striving for.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I'm looking at 24/7's worst. And by the way, I'm talking like we got a text that says Buffalo Bills after the 4. I'm talking teams that won the Super Bowl, have the Lombardi, and then have crashed like the Rams have crashed. The Steelers, the Cowboys' last title. Now they have been a perennial loser since then, but they went 10-6 the year after the Super Bowl. The 2003 Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 7-9 after they won the Super Bowl. So that's pretty bad, but that's about the pace the Rams are on right now, right? Elway's Broncos, the year after they won the last Super Bowl, went 11-5. That's not terrible. The Raiders went 7-9 and 82 after their 81 Super Bowl. So like 7 to 9 wins seems to be about the mark for Super Bowl hangovers. And the Rams are pretty much on pace. So maybe it's not that bad. But the point is, I thought Sean McVay was going to kind of flip it on its head. Now I think that might be Mike McDaniels, right? McDaniels in the way that he's got the Dolphins rolling. They're what? They're 6-3, and the only 3 they lost was because Tua was in a padded room somewhere, right? Those 2 guys might do it. I thought McVay was that guy. We'll see. I want Saturday to succeed. I think it'd be awesome if he does. For NFL teams to go, damn, maybe we should think about think outside the box a little bit more, right? The Saints outsmarted themselves by bringing in Dennis Allen. Oh, well, that was Vegas, right? Or LA or Oakland or whatever the hell they were. That was just a bad franchise. DA can do better than that. No, he can't. No, he can't. He is Peter Principled himself as defensive. He's a great defense coordinator and nothing else, right? I'm not saying he's there because it's year number 1. But doesn't that kind of strike you where Brent Venables is right now? Right? I'm not saying Brent Venables was destined to be 12-0 make the playoffs, but OU was projected to be a playoff team, and they suck. I'm kind of wondering, did Brent hit his cap at DC? And that's just what he is. He's just a coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But the hire of Saturday is just weird, man. It's just weird. But hey, Lonzo, I don't know how to make sausage. So there's that. Anyway, we come back. Speaking of coaches getting on the mic, how about Steve Wilkes' presser yesterday? Oh, it's that you didn't hear it? Don't worry. I pulled my favorite part. We'll get to that coming up. Dan Orlovsky says Clemson needs to ditch DJ. Is he right? Does he have a point? I'll get you that audio. We'll see what you have to say about that and more. Plus, in the next segment, my favorite bad radio call of the week. That's next on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
You know what Bruce may have helped
Where'd
us.
Bruce go? Bruce, where'd you go, Bruce?
You know what Bruce may have helped us with is possibly, I don't know, proof that they're not bots or proof that they are bots. I don't know which. Although, again, I looked it up and AI would cleverly cover themselves. It wouldn't be so obvious as to put a profession as working at an AI place.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios,
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
but you still sell investments that generate high commissions, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interests.
So who do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structure, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments experience involved in Mr. Boss.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want? I'll have an old fashioned.
How can we not do that?
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium
The
cocktails.
Bartesian home cocktail maker.
From classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian cocktail maker. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for weddings, holidays, birthdays, or for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/cocktail.
Great night out here at eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model. Plus, it makes horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. That looks like Mr. Kaufman needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client. She needs to staff up with her trafficking and traffic jam. Indeed can help her hire great people fast. Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions.
You might, Steven. You could be right.
Let me guess.
It's not my fault. Rob doesn't watch anything.
You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection.
Rob's busy with his 35 jobs.
There's like a rise in this carpet that the wheels won't get over.
It's where they buried something.
Shit, my hopes and dreams. Probably clip number 5, if you don't mind, please, Lonzo. You guys know I love a great radio call, right? You guys know I love a great radio call. I love play-by-play on the radio. It's one of my favorite things. Well, last night, Ohio and Belmont got together. Remember, this is the Belmont team that's going to be playing at Furman this Friday, and we have got another pair of tickets to give away later on in the show. Belmont was hosting Ohio this week, and Ohio is supposed to be a good basketball team this year. Well, A.J. Clayton knocked down a layup to give a 2-point lead to the Bobcats out front of Belmont with seconds left to go. And then Belmont's Cade Tyson put up a 3-pointer and knocked it down with a second left on the clock. Ohio takes away a 70-69 upset loss to Belmont. That's all well and good. But dig the final call from the Belmont radio broadcast team calling this game.
Finds Tyson for the win. He got it! He got it! Cade Tyson with the shot at the buzzer.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
The buildup on that, and then that's what we got. I mean,
Oh! Like a broken ass fire alarm, dude. What was that, my guy?
my fellow Ohioans, if you are indeed from there, I know that you can be a little more excitable than that. Maybe they were conscious of not wanting to distort. These are guys who started out as producers and now they're on air, and they know what it sounds like when a host gets too loud. That's what it is.
From this point forward, I think every now and then I'm just going to call other folks' radio shows under a fake name. All right, let's go to Jeff from Greer. Wants to talk Clemson football. Hey, Jeff, what are your thoughts on Dabo? Oh! Until I get hung up on. That's incredible, my guy. Look, Rob Brown is very, very used to being told that I'm too loud, that I'm too boisterous. I've been getting it my whole career. I get it in my personal life. I am constantly told that I am too much. Okay? I am constantly being told that I am too much, case in point. Right? I am too much. Even I, Rob Too Much Brown, have never, at the end of a result of any play, Burns has had some walk-offs. I used to call Northwest Florida State College basketball. That was a national championship team. I have called UWF baseball a national championship team. And never once have I grabbed a mic and gone, oh! That's incredible radio, dude. Incredible radio. I love that call so much. In fact, I wanted the play-by-play guy to shut up so I could have just clipped, oh, out of color and dropped it randomly whenever I wanted. From now on, anytime anything exciting happens, I'm running 2 tracks of audio. The initial call of the incredible thing and the Belmont color guy. That's hour number 1 of the books. We come back. Hour number 2. Steve Wilks had a presser yesterday that went just mwah, chef's kiss beautifully well. We will talk about that next on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. Courtney's tuned out. She listened to 2 minutes. That was enough for her. If you don't like that radio call, I don't know what to say. That was just art. It was just art.
See, the problem with that is caller ID comes into play. It does. So you'd have to find a way to.
I'm gonna need to borrow somebody's phone.
Get you a burner.
A banner.
I don't even want to be in here for the Steve Wilks thing. It's just, oh, God, so bad.
It really is.
It's just,
It really is.
don't do that, Luke. No. Here's the best thing to do is download the Odyssey app and for free, and there's a rewind feature. It's also a feature, and you can rewind back and you can listen to it that way. That way, I don't have to hear that again. Hey, why is Matt Ryan trending? Matt Ryan is the new offensive coordinator for Indianapolis Colts.
Luke, can you play it again? Yes, I can.
No.
Yes,
no,
I
no,
can.
No, he can't.
Yeah, sure. I can call for it to be played
He
again.
can.
Whether it does or not, I don't know.
I could be defiant. I mean, I'll play it again, but I don't want to. I just want that.
We might go back to the well in the third hour.
That's
It might be a revisit segment.
that is what MJF would call mid. That might even be below mid.
Instant Cash Offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate. Answer a few questions about your car's history and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the it's, KBB.com.
It's pro time.
You guys are crazy today.
Save big with inventory you can count on, like Flex products or DeWalt power tools starting at just $99.
Thanks for being the opposite of Bruce.
Oh, Brucey, baby. I have 3 times.
She saw Zach was having a tough time. His girlfriend wasn't talking to him. And he's the quarterback of the New York Jets. Things weren't going great for old Zach. So the mom's friend said, hey, why don't you come on over, Zach? I'll offer you some maternal advice. And Zach thought to himself,
Yeah. God, I'm an idiot, man.
Quit acting like you're not proud of that moment.
It was a questionable decision. Like most of my career.
why limit yourself to one team when there are 32 in the NFL? Sunday triple headers, Monday and Thursday night football. You get it all on one station. The Fan Upstate. 97.7 Greenville, 97.1 Spartanburg, and on the free Odyssey app. The NFL plays on the Fan Upstate.
Now, CBS Sports Radio.
The Fan Upstate. Here's how to get in the game. On your radio, 97.7 FM, 1330 AM Greenville, 97.1 FM, 950 AM Spartanburg.
Listen on your phone, download the Odyssey app, and search the Fan Upstate.
There's a whole lot more to know about sound if you really want to go into the subject.
Your smart speaker. Just say play 97 The Fan Upstate. On your HD radio at WFBC HD3. There's just one more thing. And
Yes, Skrilla, like most of my life. Thank you. That's why I have friends like you, buddy. To love and support, man. I appreciate it more than I can tell you, buddy.
Sounds sincere. Yeah.
Our numero dos of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to be with you, Rob, Lonzo, and you. On the text line at 71307, the Preferred Home Services text line is open right now. 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-M. We'll read them on the air. Give us a buzz, 844-FAN phone, 844-326-3663, 844-326-3663. And make sure you join us live on the stream. You can go to facebook.com/thefanupstate. You can go to YouTube or Twitch and search and subscribe to The Rob Brown Show. Make sure you join us on the stream. You can drop your live chats in there, and we read them on the air. We read them during the breaks. We have conversations with you during the breaks. It is exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream are the break conversations. So join us on the stream at facebook.com/thefanupstate or on YouTube or Twitch by subscribing to The Rob Brown Show. We would love to have you. Let's get a couple of texts in real quick before we go to the Steve Wilkes audio, because I need to I need Lonzo as decompressed as possible because he's going to recompress when we play it. Texter says, a winless season or 3 as owner coach could do these know-it-alls showing nothing at all some good. Jim Irsay, and I'll simply say this in his defense, Texter. In Jim Irsay's defense, Lonzo, he does not know how to make sausage. So, he doesn't know how to make sausage.
Yeah, that kind of changes things when you
Yeah.
hear that. It's like, yeah, I'm so sorry, dude.
Yeah, if
I
he
get
did know
it,
how to make sausage, entirely different story.
it would be.
But how do you expect him to do things when he doesn't know how to make sausage? By the way, 100%, the next time the lady friend is upset with me for not doing something, right? I'm going to be like, babe, listen, in my defense, I don't know how to make sausage.
Is today too early for that?
No, she ain't listening anymore.
Okay.
She
All
heard
right.
me go, oh, for the 6th time and was like, and bleep this, I'm out. 100%. She supports me in everything I do as long as it doesn't annoy her. So when I get to the house and she's like, hey, why didn't you unload the dishwasher? I'm going to be like, I don't know how to make sausage. I'm going to see how far that gets me. I suspect not very is the answer there. Texter says, Irsay and other overly active owners just need to coach and get their fantasy football experiment over with. You never hear an owner go, yeah, I feel like I could coach better than them, right? It's always, I know how to build a football team. I know how to build a football team. Until they build a football team and the football team fails, and then it's always, the coach just wasn't living up to expectations, right? What do you want to bet? That the Colts don't win another game. Irsay at the end of the year goes, well, we brought in a guy with little experience and it kind of showed, and we're going to move forward with the coaching search to find the right guy because I don't know how to make sausage. Great, Jim. Great take, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 5 years, the Colts are 6-47, but it's not Jim Irsay's fault. He doesn't know how to make sausage. What a great line. It's so utilitarian too, right? Like anytime you get accused of something or forgetting to do something, look.
Hey, don't be using those big words. You're gonna throw Bruce off. He's gonna be like, wait a minute.
Wait. You can't use those big words on Sports Talk Radio. Cordy said, you need to vacuum. Well, I would, babe, but I don't know how to make sausage. See? It's a flawless defense. If Jim Irsay, the billionaire, can get away with his team sucking by saying, I don't know how to make sausage, I feel like I can get out of vacuuming.
I don't know. You'd think with your 35 jobs, you could afford a Roomba. I'm just saying.
Texas says, wow, I had to check the clock. I thought I was listening to the Man Show from yesterday. # hot take artist. Ladies and gentlemen, I just read them. All right. I just read them. Texas said, hey, Bruce, that's the key word in this text, Lonzo. I safely learned the difference between OnlyFans and Cameo from the Rob Brown Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just out here to educate the masses, We're just out here to educate the masses. I only know the difference between Cameo and OnlyFans because of the Rob Brown Show. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you're sitting in front of your office computer, that's a pretty important distinction to know. I may have saved a job, or I may have saved somebody from getting canceled at work.
It's public service.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. That is correct. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to this Steve Wilks stuff. We've had our laughs. We've had our chuckles. We've had our fun. Steve Wilks yesterday went to the mic as the interim head coach of the Carolina Panthers. And Steve Wilks made the announcement. And by the way, I'm not even playing the part where he announced it. I'm just playing the response to the question because that is better. Steve Wilks got asked as the very first question in the presser, who's the starting quarterback on Sunday? Now, before I give you Steve Wilks' answer, I would like you all to out loud say what your answer is right now. Yesterday before this presser, had I asked Lonzo who's the starting quarterback on Thursday, your answer would have been
the answer that I gave on the Views from Mint Street podcast. You should listen to it. We were completely wrong, but you should listen to it anyway, because it should be Baker Mayfield.
Survey says, ding, 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 ding. That is the correct answer. Baker Mayfield should be starting on Thursday. PJ Walker went 3 of 10 for 2 interceptions and 9 yards. Baker came in, threw for 3 touchdowns. I feel like it's not that tough. But, Lonzo, I don't know how to make sausage. So, you know how it goes.
Yep.
So, Steve Wilkes got a couple more questions about injuries and about this and about that and about other things. Yeah. And then he got asked by an intrepid reporter, Coach, well, you know what? I even put the question in there. Let's make this one easy. Here is the response. Clip number, actually I did, but start with the second number 2. I forgot to label 2A. Give me Wilkes announces PJ. Let's start with the beginning of the presser. It is of the 2 clips.
Your starting quarterback.
There you go. That's the right one.
PJ would be the starting quarterback this week, moving forward for this particular game. And, you know, we'll see exactly how things go from there from week to week. But PJ is the starter this week.
Why did you make that decision, Steve?
I'm not going to elaborate why I made the decision. It's something that I felt like this week was the best. And, you know, with that being said, I just move on.
Why this week?
Short week. And when you look at really what he has done the last previous weeks, I felt like just that consistency. You know, I know we talked about yesterday when we made the change. I made the change, rather. But once again, I just felt like in the short week, just giving him an opportunity to go back and with the game plan that we're going to put together, what he did against Atlanta before, hopefully we can get a spark out of the offense.
You know what Steve should have said? When they said, why'd you make that decision? And he said, well, you know, I'm not going to elaborate on that. And there's this, you got to trust the process. You know what Steve should have said, Lonzo?
You know, guys, I don't know how to make the sausage.
That's the best thing he could have said. That would be a better answer.
Yes, it would have.
That would have been a better answer than what he answered. Steve, why are you going with PJ after the performance he had on Sunday and, you know, you benched him and you went to Baker? Why are you going, oh, well, I don't know how to make the sausage? That would have been a better, more coherent answer. Cue the may God have mercy on your soul speech from Billy Madison. That's how bad that was. But then Steve was like, you know, I feel like I could actively make this worse if I tried, right? It was like Impractical Jokers. It's like Sal was in his ear, like, tell him trust the process. Here's the other clip, number 2. This is Steve Wilkes straight up getting asked, is this a tank move?
You have been very adamant, Steve, about this and about tanking. You've said it, I think, at least 2 different times. What would your reaction be when folks see what PJ did yesterday with the 0.0 and still the starting quarterback?
I would say probably trust the process and trust my decision making. That's what I would tell them. And once again, we all have bad games. PJ wasn't the only one. So we got to play on Thursday. I can bench everybody if we go off bad games, you know. So we're going to rally behind PJ and, you know, definitely give him the things that he needs from a game plan standpoint that he can go out and execute.
Hey, Steve. PJ went 3 of 10, 2 interceptions, 9 yards, and a 0 quarterback rating, and you benched him for Baker Mayfield, who then went on to throw 3 touchdowns. If somebody accuse you, and I'm not saying I am, but I definitely am. If somebody accused you of tanking, what would your response be? And his answer was almost literally, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
All right. I gotta say, I was pretty angry yesterday and about this because, but first of all, I was excited because a question was asked, a really good question. That was a really good question. And Steve Wilkes was not prepared for that. Why are you not prepared? Did you just think that when you named PJ the starter, that everybody in the room was going to be cool with it? That is the shortest press conference he's done so far, because
it was like 8 minutes.
He stunned that entire media room. They had nothing. I mean, after the question was asked and the way he answered that, they had nothing. And he just looked around like, okay, thanks for coming, because it was so bad. That was so bad. It really was. I mean, this to me rivals the Jeff Saturday thing to me personally, because I'm a Panther fan. And it's like, okay. It's one thing for Rob to say, we should tank, and we should tank. But we're seeing the coach up there saying, oh, yeah, by the way,
we're tanking.
We're tanking. That's what he's saying. And everyone knows that. It's so bad.
It's kind of like, all right, so.
Yeah, Baker, James, yes, Baker did well against some backups. It doesn't matter that it was backups. He came in down that much of a score and drove them 3 straight times to touchdowns. Was accurate, and the team rallied, and they looked good. You don't take that guy out to put the guy in who looked like, why am I here?
You know what the worst part about tanking is? You can't just say you're tanking, and it creates a situation like this for the Panthers, because we all know they're tanking now, right? Like, the writing's on the wall at this point. They might as well fly a banner around the stadium saying, save your money. We want the number 1 pick.
Yeah, you and I have been arguing about this for a while, but now I got nothing. Yeah. I mean, just in that little bit of time, you just told me you're doing exactly what I hoped you wouldn't be doing. So it's
every Views from Mint Street pod between now and next April is going to be, what quarterback should we draft? That's just the pod now. Right? It's just a pod. Because here's the thing. The other reason, there's 2 reasons you're doing this. Number 1 is to get the number 1 pick. Here's the other reason you're not doing it. The other reason is there is a percentage of snaps played clause that Baker Mayfield can hit. And if you play Baker X percentage of the snaps, then you owe him Y million more dollars. Right? What's the point of paying him all those extra millions and millions of dollars when you know you're going to be 5-12?
Wouldn't you have respected that more if he came out and said, hey, guys, it's about the money? And
they can't say that, right? You can't say it. So here's the thing. That is 100,000% the reason that Matt Ryan will not see a field again for an Indianapolis Colt. He will not play another snap for the Colts. And it's not because he's not better than Sam Ehlinger. It's not because he's beat up, he's hurt, he's old, any of that. He will never play another snap, because if he hits a certain amount of snaps, they owe him X. And B, he's got a guaranteed injury clause. If Matt Ryan sustains an injury, the Colts got to scratch him a check for a few mil, right? Well, he can't get hurt if he don't play. Sam Ehlinger will be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year. And when he goes down, if he goes down, I hope he doesn't. I hope Sam can kind of grow from this. But if Ehlinger goes down, Nick Foles will step in and be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, that Nick Foles is the 3rd string QB in Indy, right? Because they don't want to have to pay him. That's the reason Matt Ryan is not playing anymore. But the NFL can't say that anymore, right? You can't come out and go, yeah, we're not playing the best quarterback on the roster. We're not playing the guy that gives us the best chance to win because we don't want to have to pay him, because if he gets injured, we owe him millions, because we're trying to get the number 1 pick. You can't say that, because that is effectively saying we are being less competitive than we can be in order to take care of finances first. And you can't do that, which is kind of insulting as a fan, right? Because anybody
Oh,
with
it's
the
not.
lick of
It's-
sense knows damn well Baker's the starter Thursday.
It's not kind of insulting. It's very insulting. And I wasn't watching the podcast live, but I was watching it on the couch, and I just yelled out, "What?" And my wife was having a conversation with her sister. It's like, "Are you okay?" And, no, I'm not. And I'll tell you when you're done. And then she said the same thing. What? I mean, a lot of people saying that, including everyone in that media room that was completely stunned. And it's hard to make the media go silent.
Yeah, that's it. The whole thing. Listen, I'm not offended by it because I've been telling y'all for a minute. The Panther season's over. When they lost to Atlanta, it dropped 2 games back in the NFC South. The game is over. The game is up. Right? There's nothing left. I'm telling you from that point. If Carolina was in contention for the NFC South today, right? If Carolina had beat Cincinnati, this game would once again be for a share of the NFC South, right? When you lost to Atlanta and then Cincinnati, this game became irrelevant. This game doesn't matter. Well, you don't want to lose to your rival. Of course you don't want to lose to your rival. But in 10 years from now, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the November 11th, 3rd, or 10th? The November 10th Thursday night game against Atlanta that we won or lost or tied or who really cares? Or are we talking about what happened with that number 2 overall draft pick that we had? Either A, you hit on the guy and the team takes it to the next level and nobody ever cares again about a random Thursday night football game between 2 bad teams in the NFC South because you hit on a QB that changed the direction of the franchise. Or you don't. And we talk about what a bust that was. But if you win the game and you cost yourself 3 or 4 or 5 draft picks, right? 3 or 4 or 5 positions, I should say. You cost yourself 3 or 4 or 5 draft positions, then you create a situation where nobody's ever going to talk about this random Thursday night game ever again, and you probably don't hit all the position of need that you need the most. It's a real simple concept, guys. Steve Wilkes can't come out and go, we're tanking. We're bailing for Bryce. We're crashing for CJ. We are wavering for Will. That's the one I was looking for the other day. We're wavering for Will, right? Can't come out and say it, but we all know. We all know. Steve said, trust me, bro. Trust the process. Trust the process. I do. I trust the process to lose these games intentionally and get us a better draft.
Yeah, the process is tanking, apparently.
Yep.
Apparently, that's the process he's talking about.
That is the fact, Jack. That's not a question. That's a statement. As the great Paul Heyman would say, that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Here's what I hope the media room decides to go. So, Steve, how are you going to go about tanking Thursday night? And just work tank into every single question.
Ladies and gentlemen, PJ Walker, tank commander, 1st Carolina Regiment. Let's take a break. Come back after this. My name is Rob. He's the great Malonzo, and you are listening to The Rob Brown Show. You are listening to The Fan Upstate.
Wednesday, sunshine, 62 degrees. Thursday, a slight chance for rain, late may 64. Meteorologist Jennifer Kuczynski on The Fan Upstate. Currently, it's 72.
Milestones in a maelstrom. I'm Anish Shroff with these Panthers update. NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. You can stream live real-time regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more. This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply. A perfect 70-degree November day in Ohio turned into a perfect storm. Sunday's loss to the Bengals was a cocktail of calamity. Carolina fell behind by 5 touchdowns at halftime and never recovered. But a pair of young players did have memorable moments. 2nd and 14, throw to the end zone. Terrace Marshall brings it in for a Panthers touchdown. Second to the wideout, Terrace Marshall. Undrafted rookie running back Raheem Blackshear both scored their first career
Gotta
touchdown.
go get some yacht rock going.
Yeah, man.
And no Steely Dan this time. We started out with with some Hall & Oates, some Sarah Smile.
I ain't mad at that.
Better now.
Sarah, smile.
Oh, now I hear still Steve Wilkes' voice. Never mind.
Marshall has already touched his yardage total from last year. Blackshear complemented his rushing team with 4 receptions, 66-yard kick return. I'm Anish Shroff of the Carolina Panthers. Radio Network.
To pick the BetQL. With the NBA season now 2 weeks old, it's time to play some player props. Here's one I have been loving so far this season. DeJounte Murray's 3-point made prop has been stuck at 1.5 all season. Guess what? He's hit that 7 straight times, including 5 made threes on 12 attempts in his last game. Vegas, notoriously slow to catch on to these player prop trends, so jump on this one while you can. I'm Trista Crick, helping you.
This is Staples.
So rumor has it that Staples has everything I need to ship.
We have all the shipping supplies and services you need.
Boxes?
Yep.
Mailers?
Yeah, and we have UPS here in store.
What will Staples think of next?
Right.
No, seriously, I'm asking, what will they think of next?
Staples is your one-stop shipping destination. Now get 50% off shipping boxes, mailers, or tubes when you buy 5 of the same item in-store or online with 1-hour pickup. Staples, the best kept secret in shipping. Ends 12/31. Exclusions apply. Visit Staples.
Hey, it's Rob Brown. Listen, if you are into the real estate market right now, you have heard that he is
Yeah, I think Blackshear can be a player, Kevin. I really do. I think he's got a ton of potential.
and inventory at historic lows. That is really, really good news if you're looking to sell a home. But most sellers also need to buy.
If that's true, he won't play the rest of the season.
Interest rates are rising. They are still well below the historic average of 7%, and home buying remains a strong financial decision. So reach out to my friends at Allen Tate, because Allen Tate is helping both sides of the market, both buyers and sellers, because both sides have real estate goals. And Allen Tate, the #1 real estate company in North and
Nice job, Josh. I can see it from here.
buyers and sellers just like you. So if you're in the market on either side, you need to find them online at allentate.com. That's allentate.com.
Thanksgiving. It's part of the fabric and culture of our country. What a great time for families to reconnect and hand out generations of stories. Not only does Thanksgiving build the bonds of family, but also our neighborhoods and communities.
Well, are you coming?
I was just waiting for you to ask.
What time do you have to leave to get to Blythewood?
Your neighborhood.
2 hours early, so I'll probably get out of here about 3. So I'll probably leave the office around 1. Run to the house. Well, cut the pod.
Okay.
Scratch that. I will run. I will leave here when we're done cutting the pod. I'll run straight out.
Okay.
So we'll cut the pod. I'll leave. I'll go home. Change and gear up. Grab 7 5-hour energies. We went to Moe's yesterday because I was getting the tires changed on my car, getting it realigned. It was going to take about an hour.
Courtney just got off of work, and there was a Moe's right across the street. So I'm like, just meet me at Moe's. We'll grab a burrito. And so we get the burrito, and I guess on Mondays at Moe's, you get a free drink. So she takes my cup, and she's like, you want me to get you a root beer? And I just stared at her, and she's like, oh, that's right. And I'm like, yeah, it's right. Walk away.
She shouldn't have asked. She should have got it and put it on the table. If you drank it, you'd be barefooted right now.
I wouldn't have drank it. I need you to know how vigilant I have been because of that.
Mike, formerly from the stream, how he addressed himself on the text thread. Mike, formerly from the stream, said, "Thank you, Panthers." Oh, man. You know, it just look. It's one of those things that sometimes the easy thing is not the right thing, right? And the right thing isn't the easy thing.
See, I went to the restroom. I threw on some yacht rock. Some Hall & Oates were playing. I'm good. I'm in a good place. Come back in here, and we're right back into this stuff. Thank you, Panthers.
Here's
Whatever.
Most teams, when they engage tank mode, right? When they get in and drive the tank, they don't acknowledge it, right? And the Panthers didn't formally acknowledge it, right? Steve Wilks didn't come out and, hey, Steve, why are you starting PJ over Baker? We trying to lose, dog. Like, we trying to lose. We need them L's, baby. We need to take the L's, as many as we can get. But the reality is there's no good reason to start PJ Walker. There's not. There was a good reason to start him against Tampa. There was a good reason to start him against Atlanta. There was a good reason to start him against Cincinnati. He had a hot hand. But there's no good reason to start him Thursday night against Atlanta at all. But Steve Wilks has got to come up with one. So his correct answer, which is as honest as he can be and also a blatant lie, is, you know, I'm not going to go into the reasons that I'm playing PJ. I just need you all to trust the process and trust my decision-making. Listen, I'm not a...
So you're going to say it's a Tepper move?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you're never going to dig up dirt that Tepper told Steve Wilks to tank, right? And on top of that, as we have mentioned, Steve Wilks' name is already connected to a lawsuit about tanking.
Which is what makes all this even worse.
And that's the shady area. That's exactly right. That's the question mark area, because if Steve Wilks' name is already attached to a lawsuit about tanking, it wouldn't make sense for Tep to go to him and be like, hey, dude, flop, lay it down, take a dive, tank. Because Steve Wilks, if I'm Steve Wilks in the case, every time David Tepper gives me a buzz, I'm like, Dave, can we do this on the record? If not, I'm not interested, right? Every conversation, if you won't go on the record with me, whatever you got to say to me, say it in an email. I want it documented. I do not want a case where Tep tells me, lay down, take the L, and it's not recorded, right? But on the flip side, you got to wonder, Steve Wilks, coaching for his job, if maybe there's not a little bit of, hey, Steve, you're the front runner for this gig next year. Wink. Nudge.
Yeah, you can't do that either. No, you can't.
Why?
Because that's just as bad.
Not
Because
to say
how's that not just as bad?
How's it not? if he is going to be the best head coaching opportunity available, the best head coaching candidate available, to go ahead and tell him he's got the early leg up, right? Steve, you got a big early leg up because we see you doing work. We see you in here making coaching moves. I mean, he just fired 2 coaches, right? You just fired 2 coaches. You're trying to make moves. We just want you to know that as of right now, you got the leg up and you'll be in charge of who you draft next year. Finger guns. Right? Because if Steve Wilks gets his opportunity,
that sounds more like
next year,
sounds more like a Jerry Jones thing, the Tepper thing.
Hey. If Steve Wilks gets his crack at who he wants to draft next year, what position does Steve Wilks want to draft with the first or second or third or fourth or fifth draft pick? Quarterback, man. Steve Wilks has got a guy on the board right now he's looking at going, that's my quarterback, man. Right? So if you know that you've got the, like, I'm just trying to work through this in my brain. I'm trying to work through this in the old thick head of one Rob Brown and figure out why it would be made so blatant that Carolina has decided to skid into a ditch 9 weeks into the season, when, by the way, the division is still very much in reach. It's a long shot, but it's in reach. Why are they steering into a ditch? And the reason is, in my opinion, the most likely reason is Wilks has got a wink, wink, nudge, nudge that he's the likely head coach next year and he's in charge of his own draft pick.
I'm not buying that.
What else you got then? You agree with me that this sounds like, hey, we're tanking.
There's no sounds like it. Definitely.
Then what's Steve Wilks' reason for tanking if he's trying to coach himself into a head coaching job?
Because he was told to. Somehow. He was told to. Or I don't know. If this was college, it would be a loyalty thing. But the NFL is totally different. So it's not that.
When I say coach himself to a head job, I'm not just talking about at Carolina.
You know what? If he came out yesterday and said Sam Darnold is our starter, I'd have been okay with that.
Sure.
I'd have been okay
Sam
with
Darnold
that.
gives you a better chance to win than PJ Walker.
Absolutely.
So my question is, if you and I and everybody with a set of eyeballs knows that this is a tank move, that this is a move to drop a divisional game, to drop an L on the record books and keep that number 2 overall draft pick in line. We all know that's the line. If that's the line, what reason does Steve Wilks have to take it if he's coaching for a head coaching job? The only one I can come up with is he is relatively comfortable that this job is his next year. That Tep's going to leave him and take the interim tag off. That's the only thing I've got to justify what is a take. Because the only other option is Steve Wilks genuinely believes that PJ Walker is his best chance to win, and ain't none of us can believe that.
Yeah, he is usually fairly steadfast in what he's saying, and he's usually a little sarcastic when he does things. I didn't see that yesterday.
No.
This was more of a guy that's going out to say something that he knows he's going to get a reaction from that possibly he doesn't want to say. And I after the show, I'm going to do some research, Bruce. I'm going to check the internet and
it's
see.
A waste of time.
Yeah, but I'm just curious if Baker or PJ have been approached by the media yet, and how they respond.
It's one of two things.
That'd be awesome if PJ said, "You know what? I stunk it up, man. I don't need to be the starter. I don't know what's going on. Baker is the guy. He should be out there. He's the only chance we have to win this game."
Listen, even if, right? Like I'm trying to put this whole thing together. I really am. Like I'm thinking out loud as much as I am anything else. The only reason for Wilks to pull the trigger on what you and I, and I'm assuming most of y'all agree, is a tank move for Carolina. The only justifiable reason I can come up with is Wilks is relatively comfortable that he is the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers, the next full-time head coach of the Carolina Panthers. And Steve Wilks is relatively comfortable believing it is a good reason for me to go get the best available draft pick. I'm only helping myself here, right? Because Bake ain't coming back, Sam ain't coming back, and PJ ain't that good. I got to get a QB. And they very clearly not bought into the Matt Corral experiment, right? Which might be a little bit early, but is also a mid-pick guy. Not a guy that's super excited. So the only rationale that I can come up with for Steve Wilks, all but admitting yesterday, we're tanking, right? Coach, how would you respond to accusations that this is a tank move? By playing a guy who went 3 of 10 with 2 picks, 9 yards, and a 0.00 QB rating. And he goes, I just need y'all to trust the process and trust my decision-making. Yeah, well, we don't, Coach. We don't. If a guy slugged me in the jaw and I went, what the hell, dude? And he went, hey, just trust my decision-making. No, I'm not going to do that. You just hit me in the face. I'm going to do the opposite of that, actually.
Are you on the ground or are you still standing up?
Doesn't matter. I got punched in the face.
Well, I mean, I'm judging that guy by, whether you're standing or not.
If I get slugged in the dome, I'm not going to go, I trust your decision-making. I trust the process. That was clearly meant to make me better. I'm going to be a better guy tomorrow when I wake up. Hey, I tried them jaw hurts. Well, I'm a better person. I trust the process. That's me with a broken jaw. You get the point.
So what happens? I don't think this is going to happen, but it could happen. What happens if PJ Walker comes out Thursday night and kills
then
it?
Steve Wilks gets in his presser Thursday night and goes, Ric Flair, baby. Whoa! What'd I tell y'all? What did I tell you? Trust the process, son. I told you. I'm the dude. I'm the guy. I know what I'm doing. He looks like a freaking genius.
But probably exactly the opposite is going to happen.
Correct. And he gets to come in and he gets to go, well, PJ had a bad game against Cincinnati. And, we really thought that it was just one bad game. It was one off. We've seen a lot of good stuff out of PJ. He had a great game against Atlanta the week before Cincinnati. We kind of figure maybe Cincinnati was just, hey, even Tom Brady has a bad day, right? Like Tom Brady's only putting up 16 points a game right now. Even Brady has a bad day. So we trusted that this was a bad day. And unfortunately, PJ just didn't have the stuff tonight. So we're going to reevaluate our quarterback position. We're going to reevaluate the attack, the strategy behind the offense. Me and my coaches will have a closed door meeting tonight, and we'll evaluate who's going to get the crack next week in a much bigger game.
I just thought
he can't lose for 1 week.
I just thought of a follow-up question that should have been asked if they weren't so stunned in the press conference when he said short week. Baker Mayfield was had 0 reps with the ones, and he came in and led the Panthers to 3 scores. What does a short week have to do with anything?
Yeah. Coach, that seems like more of a reason not to go back to that guy, right? The bad game was only a few days ago, right? You think he's just over it now? I don't know, man. It just, like I said, it's very obviously a tank job. If PJ goes out there and has a day and he beats the Falcons, Steve Wilks walks in a long robe and a feather boa spinning circles with his hands out. And if he doesn't, he just gets to go, hey, look, we thought it was a bad day. We're reevaluating, and we'll make our decision about next week's starter after we reevaluate the tape. And he buys himself a couple of days for him and Tap and Fitz to sit in an office and go, all right, what now? I got an idea. Here's what we do, Coach. When you go out for the press conference on Sunday and Monday, and they ask you the starter is, here's all you need to do. Look at the media member that asked the question and just say, I don't know how to make sausage. And we're clear. It worked for Irsay. We're clear. Coach, why'd you start PJ? Well, I don't know how to make sausage.
If he's looking for a robe, though, just right down the road, there's a guy who could probably hook him up.
What a joke. Texas says, Rob, benefit of the doubt, ATL's defense is not as good as Cincinnati's. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. He's got himself a 1 week reprieve. What's going to be tough is if Carolina gets the boat kicked out of them on Thursday night, and then they go back to PJ again for the next game, right? That's where the questions are going to start to rise. Coach, PJ just had back-to-back games where he threw for single-digit yardage, and now 10 days after the second game in a row he did that, you're going to Baltimore? Did you see what Baltimore did to Andy Dalton last night, Coach? Did you see what Houston and Roquan did to Andy Dalton? Andy Dalton, I'm pretty sure, is dead today. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a celebration of Andy Dalton's life at some point in New Orleans today.
He's not. If you just tuned in, he's fine. He's sore. He's fine.
He wishes he was.
Don't take that out of context.
He wishes he was.
I heard on the radio that he's no. Denzel's over here shaking his head. We good.
Andy Dalton, R.I.P. You had a good run. Rest easy, buddy.
His career, that's totally different thing.
Roquan might as
That's
well
been over for a while.
be an Undertaker because he buried Andy Dalton so many times last night. And you're going to send PJ into that? Good luck. This whole thing's ugly. All right, let's take a break. We're off the clock because I don't know how to make the sausage. We got more. What do I want to get to next, Lonzo? I don't even know anymore. Now let's go.
Just get to the break. That's all I care about. You got time to figure it out after that.
I got to tease something for the next segment. That's how you make the sausage.
Yeah, but we don't know how to do that.
Lonzo's got to go to the bathroom. Let's take a break on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
I don't actually. I did that last break. Just a reminder about the thing today at 2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess you could skip it, but I don't know. Might be important. Probably won't be. We can take bets on who talks the most. Although it might be you, so I don't know.
It's a corporate thing. It ain't going to be me.
You're not going to speak up for a corporate thing? Unless we get like some Steve Wilkes stunning stuff going on. It's like, what?
Do I try to work the phrase, I don't know how to make the sausage, into the presser?
Oh, I dare you. I dare you.
You guys, I'd like to be more involved in the future direction of this station, of this company, but unfortunately, I do not know how to make the sausage.
Here's the problem. If sausage is mentioned in any way during this thing, you and I are going to lose it.
Correct.
Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to KevinFunds.com/sports.
Makes me laugh so much.
This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com/sports.
So if you were invited to learn how to make the sausage, would you say no, because I don't want to?
No, because then I would know how to make the sausage, and I would not have an excuse to be bad at my job anymore.
Okay.
That'd be a.
Because I'm guessing there's probably sausage makers in the area. I know there's like deer sausage makers. So.
Conecuh sausage is the best sausage created by man. It's made in Conecuh, Alabama, just outside of the Conecuh National Forest. It is between me and Pensacola. And if you don't think I stop every single time I go to and come back from Pensacola to grab some Conecuh sausage, here's the thing. You don't want to see how they make sausage. You'll never eat sausage again. But
well, I see some of us might,
gosh darn delicious.
You think Bruce knows how to make the sausage?
Bruce is too sophisticated to eat sausage like a.
Maybe Bruce has programmed AI into making the sausage. I miss meetings when everybody was in the building, all in the same room.
You do?
Yeah, the star power. It's just no, because I always sit in the back and would bet on who was going to talk the most. And there's a couple guys who always, when the meeting was just about over, would ask another question.
They were the kid who went, "Teacher, you forgot to assign us our homework."
Yeah, and every time the groveling underneath, you could just hear it starting to build. Like, you better not ask another question. And then they would do it anyway. One of them we used to share an office with.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He was that guy.
Yes. He still is that guy. That's a good point, James. It could be.
Marcus said, "I can make sausage. Where do I submit my resume for the Colts offensive coordinator?"
Well, I am seeing that people are asking Dan Orlovsky if it's going to be him.
Speaking of Dan Orlovsky.
Please bring Orlovsky in.
Speaking of Dan Orlovsky, Lonzo with the professional segue. When it comes to radio, Lonzo knows how to make the sausage. I don't know. Do we do it now or do we save it for the opening segment in the next hour? To give it a little more time to breathe.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe.
He's got to breathe.
Hey, let's do it now. We got like 4 minutes. Oh, we got 6 minutes. We got plenty of time.
We ain't got no 6
We got
minutes.
5 minutes.
No, we ain't got 5 minutes.
I don't know how to make the sausage. See how great that line is? It's so good. It is. You can use it 50 times a day and it'll never get old. Watch me. I'm going to do it today.
Everyone listening and including me is going to accidentally do this today.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I want people on Twitter I want to see this afternoon. I don't know how to make the sausage trending because people are going, there's been epidemic of people randomly saying the sentence, "I don't know how to make the sausage," in Greenville, South Carolina, in the upstate of South Carolina.
All right.
Where's it coming from?
One of us will be asked today why we didn't do a thing. It's going to happen. And no, I'm not being specific. There was just now you're like,
gotcha.
what did I not do?
That's exactly what I did.
See?
You triggered the paranoia.
And then you can say,
I don't know. I don't know how to make the sausage.
I don't know how to make the sausage, man.
Texas said Ravens are animals. It doesn't matter what Panthers quarterback plays. It's going to be an ass whooping. Oh, yeah. Ravens are going to beat the Panthers by 35.
It'll be Sam Darnold by then, so.
Honestly, like I said, I don't think we're going back to Baker. And it's not because that's not
if it is a money thing, Sam's missed most of the season, so he wouldn't be able to catch up for the
Correct.
money thing.
Exactly right.
So you put Sam Darnold in there.
That's exactly right. I'm 100% serious. Baker, the only way Baker Mayfield starts another game for the Panthers is if both Sam and PJ go down hurt, and he's the only guy left. And even then, they might go, hey, Eastman, you've been staying in shape, buddy. You want another crack? You want another go? We will elevate you over. Imagine that presser. Hey, coach, you lost PJ. You lost Sam. Baker was right there, but Jacob Eastman is your starter this weekend. Why? I just need you guys to trust the process.
So the fact that you, as their spokesman, that don't know that his name is Easton and not Eastman.
I was saying Eastman, but whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's the point.
I don't know names. I don't know how to make the sausage.
I don't know the name. I don't know how to. So good. It's so good. I don't know how to make the sausage.
All right. So a goal for anyone listening right now, can you get that phrase in that show that happens later on today? Can you do that? Can you make it just bombard the text line with that until one of them says it?
We've played that game in the past, and ordinarily about 30 minutes in, one of them will be like, "Why does this keep showing up on the text line?" And it's a fun game for me.
And see, they don't get it because all we do is talk NFL, so it can't be from us.
Which, by the way, we are doing right now for the record. We're not helping ourselves.
Hey, we did nothing but Clemson like all day yesterday. I pronounced it that way on purpose.
Hey, I don't know how to make the sausage. All right. All right. By the way, listen, For those of you on the text line who have sent me a lot of text about sausage, but using it in a very different context, stop.
No, keep it up.
Stop.
Keep it up, because I will get that text from Tim going, "What are you guys talking about?" And then maybe a text from Vince, which I would love going. And then I'll just make something up to Vince, so it'll be fun.
James said, "What if Baker knows how to make a sausage?" We're not going to find out.
He does. That's why he's not going to get to play.
Yeah, that's it. That might be it. We don't want to pay Baker to make the sausage.
Hey, Coach, Baker knows how to make the sausage. We can't put him in there.
Listen, all right, when we come back, I can't do any more of this. It can't get worse.
Yeah, it can. It can.
Yeah, it can. Oh!
No. That was too much.
Oh, it's coming back last
No.
hour.
You're missing the point. You put a little, there was too much excitement in there.
Excitement.
It wasn't enough monotone. It was.
Dude really was like,
Yeah.
oh, nope, did it again. That was so good. All right, let's take a break. Texter said, Rob, Kevin here. I promise I'll get Mark with it today. # subscribe. Texter said, I'm your sausage guy. Oh, man. The text line is a freaking disaster right now, and I love it. I do. 71307. Start your text with fan. Let's take a break. When we come back, Dan Orlovsky had some things to say about the Clemson Tigers. What was it? Break that down when we come back, and we may even play a little faces and heels on a Tuesday. Lonzo's favorite segment. We missed it last week. We may have to do a make good. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. I want to love anything as much as the First Take guys on ESPN love being on a boat. They're just on a boat once a week now.
How's it a make good when it's normally on? That's not really a make good. You're still one behind.
The whole hour.
That would be a make good. Yeah, you're right. You guys are thinking alike. That's funny.
Listen, if you think I was surprised I would get asked, I haven't been a coach, I wouldn't, that'd be silly, right? So I knew going in what the expectation was going to be, the questions that were going to be asked, and feel fully capable, excited about the opportunity. Saturday takes over for Frank Reich, who was fired after a 3-5-1 start to the season. No games in the NBA today. The league taking election day off to encourage fans to vote in the midterms. All 30 teams playing last night. The NBA schedule resumes tomorrow with 13 games. I'm Peter Schwartz. Hey, it's DA. Be sure to listen to CBS Sports Radio.
What world was that?
Ask Alexa to play CBS Sports Radio.
The ghost in the studio. I am scared.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I ordered takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000
You need to be careful with that, Kevin.
and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you can get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval, rates range from 6.99% APR to 21.49% APR, including 0.5% LP discount. Those rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Inflation is ridiculous. Everything from gas prices, food, and vacations. At My Affordable Braces, we have and will continue to offer braces starting at just $39.95. With new technology, you will need fewer visits than ever. Save even more with most insurance plans like MetLife and Delta Dental. MyAffordableBraces.com has a clinic near you in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson. Schedule your free consultation, exam, and x-rays today. Easy payment plans and affordable braces.
our clients know the facts. How do your clients know that? Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first. So,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
By the way, McDonald's just came out with a gaming chair. I don't know if you saw
McDonald's.
it. Yeah, look, if you get a chance, look up McDonald's gaming chair. I don't want to give away what's actually built into the
The
chair.
headrest isn't an arch. What's the point? God. I would absolutely buy that. I would 100% buy that. I'm not even a big McDonald's guy.
Yeah, but it's not. It's about the fries, dude.
Yes,
and
a
that's
fry holder and a built-in hot box to keep you comfortable. I would buy that. A fry holder, a drink holder, 2 dip holders, a hot box to keep your McCrispy warm while get your McCrispy. A built-in napkin holder and 2 reusable napkins with McCrispy branding, a stain-proof leather treatment so you can enjoy your McCrispy in peace, and modular armrests to allow users to swap their McCrispy today. In case you're a lefty sandwich eater.
Bruh, check this out. My McCrispy, it's still warm.
Also, was it just me, or did Riddle coming out kind of ruin
It
that New
did.
Day promo?
It did ruin it. It was one of the first times where I'm like, okay, the writing tonight, why are they doing this? I think I got the feeling that maybe this was one of those shows because they let people wrestle a really long time.
Yeah, like a throwaway show.
that people got hurt.
Yeah.
Or were really tired, jet lag and all that kind of stuff. They did I think they made a comment about jet lag.
Yeah, the Usos did.
Yeah. So
They
that
said we're dealing with that private jet lag. You wouldn't know about that.
Yeah, and all the hosts that have been on this station are still alive. So that wasn't what that was. I don't know what it was. There was a weird noise in here when you were out. It was like a clicking noise.
It's a ghost.
It might have been a predator. I've been worried about predators. You know that clicking sound they make right before they, yeah. It really is what it sounded like. No, it does not get fixed. Okay, I did fix it.
Yeah.
We definitely will talk about that Thursday. Man, I hope they don't break that record. I know they're going to.
I don't mind it. The third, the final, the best of money hour. The Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the Fed Up Stain. Boy, how do we know how to make the sausage, ladies and gentlemen? Rob and Lonzo with you on a Tuesday morning, and a good one, man. Beautiful Tuesday.
You said boy howdy.
Boy, howdy.
It's more of a like a Texas thing than it is a Southern thing, isn't it?
I don't care. I like howdy. Howdy's a good word.
Yeah, but when you
There's
pair it up with
nothing-
boy howdy,
There's nothing more disarming than a good howdy. It's the nicest way you can greet anybody.
unless you're lost in Lawrence County and someone says howdy.
Howdy.
Yeah, and you hear bangers.
All right. Let's have the tough conversation, shall we, Clemson? Is it time? And I can already hear, Zoe. I can already hear
that other show going. You can't talk about that. That's what we do.
No, no, I can hear weird talk to you in the bathroom guy that accosted Lonzo while he was in the old number deuce.
None of that happened that way. No.
I know it's funnier that way.
The picture that you're painting is inaccurate,
It's funnier
sir.
that way. Lonzo was in the restroom. And the hilarious part about this story is that it quite literally happened to both of us on the same day during ACC Media Days. Yeah. So, during ACC Media Day, Rob Brown was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Lonzo was here in the building. Go to a break during our show on ACC Media Day. We go to a break, and while I'm in the bathroom, there's a guy who was another broadcaster from a different part of the country. He was covering Louisville, I think. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm in the bathroom, wrapping up business. And as I'm walking to the sink to wash my hands, because I'm not an animal, wash your hands, people. As I'm walking to the bathroom to the bathroom sink to wash my hands, the guy goes, "So, is DJ sticking around, or does he lose his job and transfer?" I'm like, "Have you seen the guy yet?" Right? Now, this is the first day, so Clemson is not gone yet. They haven't been in the building, but I'm like, "Have you seen DJ yet?" And he's like, "Not really. Like, I've heard reports he's lost some weight." I'm like, "Dude, he's lost a bunch of weight. Like, he looks good. And he seems to have gotten the mental prowess back, right? Like, I'm not worried about it." And he goes, "I don't know, man. I feel like you guys should talk to him and get him to transfer and move on." I'm like, "All right, dude. Thanks for having this conversation with me in the bathroom." Cool. A couple segments later, talking to Zoe. Zoe tells me that somebody that works here did the same thing to him in the bathroom. Zoe was like washing his hands, and the dude says, "You know, we ought to make DJ transfer. We ought to get him out of there, right? Time to move on." DJ came in, and Clemson under DJ Uiagalelei had, I'd say, a pretty good start to the season, right? Took them a little while to get rolling against Georgia Tech, but they put up 41 against them. Took them a little while to get rolling against Furman, 35. 48 against La Tech. Took them to OT, but dumped 51 on Wake, 30 on NC State, 31 on BC, 34 on FSU, 27 on Syracuse with what? How many turnovers in that game? 3, 4? And then 35 again, or excuse me, for just the 14 against Notre Dame. But against Syracuse and against Notre Dame, DJ did not look great. Now, so you and I, having watched that game, both had the same comment on Monday, which was, a dollar says ain't none of y'all nor us could have completed a pass in the weather they were playing in South Bend. It was gross. It was windy. It was wet. It was gross.
I don't know. You're a science guy, so I think you might have checked out the wind velocity and realized that a certain angle would cause the ball to come back a little bit. It would also affect the spin. And I would think that possibly you might have been able to complete a pass. Not me, because I'm not smart enough.
No, I love
science.
You
know why? Because I don't know how to make the sausage.
I love science, though, but the love of science and the ability to do it are very different, right? I suck at math. Do you understand there's a reason every job I do has to do with a microphone and words? If I had the ability to do science, I would have been a scientist. But they got to do all that maths and stuff.
You could play a scientist on the radio.
Sure.
Maybe be confirmed by Bruce.
I have very frequently had the thought of, you know what? We need a new Bill Nye the Science Guy. Maybe I go Rob Brown the Science Clown. Not as entertaining. Not as cool on a t-shirt, but hey, you know, it rhymes.
Will you wear a red nose?
Rob Brown from Science Town. That's better. Should have gone with
there
that.
There we go.
Should have gone with that to lead off.
You could be creepy like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome.
And here's the guy who runs all my experiments, Dr. McHansey. Anyway, DJ didn't look good. Syracuse was throwing a ton of blitzes. Notre Dame was just an ugly weather game and pretty good against the pass with the pass rush, right? I don't hang it entirely on DJ. I don't. The offensive line regressed. The coaching staff got away from what had made them successful in those games against BC, FSU, et cetera, and running the ball and using their playmakers.
Yeah, the coaching staff became the coaching staff that they are now, not the ones that left.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly right. But there are some bloviators out there who do want to pin it all on DJ. Here in clip number 4 is Dan Orlovsky, who works for ESPN, of course. Dan Orlovsky was on one of the countless shows that they have where they scream at each other about football. Dan and Louis Riddick were having a conversation about Clemson, about the playoffs, about the ACC, yada, yada, yada. And here's what Dano had to say about DJ and the Tigermans.
No, in all truth about Clemson, I think the reality is this. Dabo's great skill or trait is like his loyalty and his undying belief in his players.
Got to make the move.
Got to make the move at quarterback. And the weird thing is, Dabo did it years ago with Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. Said Kelly Bryant's good, but Trevor Lawrence is better. They've got a true freshman, Cade Klubnik, who's a superstar talent. We've seen this offense under DJ Uiagalelei for the better part of a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah. It's not good anymore. So that is a massive – Clemson's done. They're done out of the playoff. And I think they're at a little bit of a crossroads or program-wise, because at some point they got to kickstart their program because it doesn't look like it did 3 or 4 years ago.
I think the difference is that DJ was supposed to be the Trevor as well.
Yeah.
We didn't think that Kelly Bryant was that sort of player. When you have a Trevor Lawrence sitting behind him, it's easy to make that move.
So let's start with the back half of that. Clemson is done. They're out of the playoffs. Correct. That is correct. Sorry, but it's true. A one-loss ACC champion, probably not going in. I mean, is it mathematically possible? Sure. If Georgia eats a couple of losses, if Tennessee eats another loss, right? I think a one-loss ACC champ would go in before a 2-loss SEC team, right? But would they go in against, let's say, theoretically, a one-loss Michigan who does not win the Big Ten but loses to Ohio State by 3 points? Honestly, probably, right? Michigan's schedule is not nearly as tough as Clemson's. Lonzo's going to argue that fairly because he doesn't believe that the ACC's second-tier teams, NC State, Wake, Syracuse, are that good.
So you put me again in a position where I have to pick one team I don't like over another team I don't like. I was content to just be over here and be quiet.
Hey, you got to make the sausage, Lonzo.
But I don't know how.
I don't know how. Probably a one-loss ACC team not going in against a one-loss Big Ten runner-up if their only loss is to the Big Ten winner and it's a close game, right? Mainly because those two teams have just been higher, and the loss to Notre Dame on the same field where Marshall beat them is not a great look.
I don't know. I think I got to believe that the only conference that can get two teams ever in the 4-team playoff is the SEC. I don't think there's any other conference who can do that other than the SEC.
They get bonus points. They get bonus points for being the conference right now, right? Like, even if we switch to the 12-team playoff right now, if we went to the 12-team playoff right now, the SEC has 4 teams in it right now. If we go to 12 teams, they have 4 teams in it, a third of the playoffs.
I'm betting that Clemson's a big-time advocate of that now.
Yeah, they would be.
I don't know if they weren't in the past, but they
right
definitely
now,
are now.
Right now, Clemson would likely be in right now as a 12 seed. They would probably slip in as the last team in. So, which also means that they get the highest team that doesn't get a bye, which would be Ohio State. Depending on who wins the Big Ten. It could also be Michigan. It would be the Big Ten champ, likely. Because you'd have Georgia, and that's a hypothetical. I know we don't do those, but you'd have Georgia 1.
You know what? You shouldn't.
You'd have the Big Ten champ 2. You would have... hang on, I'm trying to do this in my ass. Screw it. It doesn't matter. Point is, they'd be slipping in, but they're not with a 14 playoff. Dan Orlovsky and Louis Riddick right there have a point, which is you got to jumpstart the program, right? You got to jumpstart the program. But my question here would be, how is switching DJ a jumpstart to the program? What else changes, right? I know that a lot of you guys are head over heels about the future of Cade Klubnik. And I got no problem with that, for the record. I got no problem with you being excited about Cade Klubnik in the future. None at all. But Cade Klubnik came in against Syracuse. He had not earned the trust to rip the ball against the Orange. He came in against Notre Dame. He went 0 for 1 with a pick.
Well, if I could,
is that a jump start?
If I could, I can't accurately quote, but I can come close to what Steve Wilkes said. If I was benching people who played bad, I think when it comes to Clemson, yeah, all the fingers are being pointed at the quarterback, but the defense isn't playing well either.
No, the defense sucked against Notre Dame.
Yeah, the defense,
Sucked.
like I was joking yesterday, but not joking. There's a number 5 on the defense, but that's not DJ. And he doesn't play defense. He wasn't out there trying to keep a kick from being blocked. He's not on that team. You can point the finger at the quarterback. Is he part of the problem? Yeah, he's part of the problem. But you got a bigger problem than the quarterback. The defense and the rest of the team is not playing that well either. Clemson looked like they were becoming a team that could reload like some of the other big-time teams like Alabama, like Ohio State, like some of those teams. But we're finding out that maybe they weren't there. Maybe even people who weren't Clemson fans were believing some of the hype that they had reached that level, and maybe they hadn't.
By the way, Texter says, Rob, that isn't Lewis Riddick in that clip. It's Ryan Harris. You're right. That's my bad.
Yeah, I was going to tell you later, but
I did not get a chance to watch the clip, and I made an assumption because ordinarily I see Lewis Riddick with Orlovsky when they're talking.
Lewis's voice is deeper.
Yeah, but that's on me. That was me making an assumption on the fly with a clip that I did not watch. I only pulled the audio from. So that's my bad. Doesn't matter who it is, though, right? Doesn't matter who it is. It comes down to, look, I even understand the concept of kind of bagging on Dabo's undying loyalty. Like, it can sometimes be a detriment. Loyalty is good. Loyalty to a fault is not. I don't think this is loyalty to a fault, right? Giving DJ the chance to come out in week 1 against Georgia Tech and solidify himself as a starter was not a bad gamble because through, well, Syracuse week, I think the majority of us were going, DJ's playing pretty good ball, right? The numbers are good. The production's good. The leadership is there. The guys are rallying around him, right? After the win on the road at FSU, where the defense tried to give it away late in the game, right? When DJ was getting interviewed, half the damn offense was coming around, putting their hands around him. This is our dude. This is the guy. Big Cinco's the guy. He had a bad game against Syracuse. We talked about the injury in that game. It is a circumstance. I'm not saying it is the reason or not. I'm saying it is something that happened and could have had a detrimental impact on DJ's game. Syracuse, the weather was freaking gross. You could have fired a ball out of a cannon and the wind was blowing it one way or the next. So I don't put it entirely on him. You can't have a game like that where the elements are as bad as the elements were in that game and throw the ball 40 times and rush it 25. Team totals for Notre Dame. Who won the game? Notre Dame, Lonzo, ran the ball 47 times. They threw it 17. Clemson threw it 40, ran it 25. That's bad play calling. You have Will Shipley, who's averaging over 5 yards a carry in that game, and you give him a dozen carries.
Yeah, I ain't afraid of no win.
Yeah.
We going to throw the ball.
Yeah. Turns out it's one thing to go, we're bigger, badder, stronger, and faster and can dominate the opposition. You know what you can't beat? Nature. Right? It's like the dude that goes outside without sunscreen. It's like, I ain't afraid of the sun. Oh, well, that's dumb. Sun's undefeated. Right? Notre Dame knew that. Notre Dame had 2 guys that carried the rock more times than Will Shipley. They won the game. It's not that hard. And I guess that's the frustrating part here is that L It's pretty easy to diagnose. 27 of 39 for 191, a touch and a pick for DJ. I have mentioned, I feel like he gets a little apprehensive in the face of aggressive defensive lines. I feel like when he panics, the throwing motion reverts back to that old throwing motion where the ball comes down to the hip and then a long loop up over the top, as opposed to what it was early, which is the ball's up, it comes to the shoulder, and it gets let rip. He drops it down to throw it. It's bad. Takes too long. Adds another 1/10 of a second to the delivery. 1/10 of a second is the difference between a completion and an incompletion, or an incompletion and a pick. I think he regresses to watching a receiver instead of progressing through the reads, right? Take the snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 1. Instead, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Force it. It didn't work. I think he panicked. But I also think that if you're running the ball in that game where he doesn't have to think about the wind and the elements, if you hand the ball off 40 times and throw it 25 instead of the other way around, he's got less time to become uncomfortable. He's got less time to be in a panic mode. This is not TJ has not played well the last 2 weeks. Let's call a spade a spade. He did not look good against Syracuse. He did not look good against Notre Dame. Against Syracuse, I think the hand was banged up. Against Notre Dame, the weather's ugly. It's not the only excuse. DJ played poorly. He made bad decisions. He held onto the ball, and the throwing mechanics broke down. Those are all bad things, but they're all fixable things. What DJ can't fix is being asked to throw the ball 40 times when you're running at 25 in a thunderstorm.
It's funny, since we've started talking Clemson, nothing but Clemson stuff is plopping up on my Twitter. I blame
because anonymous AI is there.
I blame Bruce, including this, according to Dabo. This is a Dabo quote. He did not play well at Notre Dame, but he can't punt, protect, and he can't stop the run, but he'd be the first one to tell you he's got to play better. So exactly what I just said. Yeah. So it's weird, man. It's weird.
Yeah. But
including the thing that's popped up. Paul Feinbaum says that Clemson's dynasty is over. It just it's weird.
Yeah. Listen, that's all. Paul Feinbaum is a hot take artist.
He is, but he's right.
He is a hot take artist who caters to the lowest common denominator of college football fans. It just is. All right. And that's fine. That's fine. He's made an entire career out of it. I can't hate on it. The guy's one of the most successful college football talking heads in the world. But Paul Feinbaum is a hot take artist who caters to the lowest common denominator of college football fans. That ain't me. It's not my goal. It's not my job. It's not my MO, right? Clemson's dynasty. That's big panic for a team that is 8-1 and in line to win another Power 5 conference title. Another one. Big words for an 8-1 team, 3 games away from playing and winning another ACC title. Maybe calm the hell down, Paul, right? Dan, well, they need a jump start. They got to do something here. They got to do something. Yeah, they do. I'm not disagreeing with that. They do need a jump start. They do need a kick in the pants. You know what the biggest kick in the pants in football is? Getting it handed to you. You don't think those boys came in yesterday focused up and ready to make sure, didn't like that? Let's not do that again. They know UNC's waiting for them. They know everybody else between now and UNC, including South Carolina, is licking chops right now. They're vulnerable. They're bleeding. They're backed into a corner. You think they're not focused up on that? 844 fan phone, 844-326-3663. Brandon, if you want to give us a call back, I see you drop there. If you want to give us a call back, we will get you back up on the line. In the meantime, want your thoughts? Text us 71307. Start your text with fan. Here's a couple that have come in. Texter, fan says, Nick Saban makes the best sausage, Paul. That is actually a comment I would expect to hear on that show, for being honest. It really is. Texas says, guys, there is a myriad of issues at Clemson. I'm not sure that Clemson is done losing this year. I think the Big Ten could get both Ohio State and Michigan in this year. That's from Billy. Could you imagine 4 teams in the playoffs, 2 SEC, 2 Big Ten? I very much can.
I can imagine it. I don't want to see it. I don't think they want to see it. I don't think college football wants to see it.
here's where you're going to be in trouble.
You know, all the complaints you hear year after year about 2 SEC teams getting in. If it's just 2 represented,
here's why it won't happen. TCU is undefeated. I don't see another loss. Texas could get them if they have their best game, but I doubt it. An undefeated TCU, a 1-loss Pac-12 champion Oregon, whose only loss is 2, consensus number 1 Georgia. They will get in over Tennessee. They would get in over Clemson. Probably. I like that, Lonzo. I like that. We have got a phone call coming in on the phone line. And, we get a little screen here. Somebody call, it tells us your phone number. And if there's a name connected to your phone number, it'll tell us your name and phone number. One that just called in, name anonymous, phone number anonymous.
it's all right. I know who it is. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not Bert or whatever that guy's name was earlier. Bill. What was our super intellectual texter earlier?
Bruce.
It's not Bruce. All right, Billy's on the line. Let's get him in here and take a call before we get out for the break. Billy, welcome into the show, big dog. Good to have you.
Rob, what's up, brother? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Thank you. Listen, the reason I'm not surprised that Clemson lost that game was because if you go back 2 years ago, DJ played his best game as a Clemson Tiger and up at Notre Dame, and they lost that game. And,
That's a
and
fact.
they had a much superior team to what they've got the last, this year. So I don't know why anyone's shocked. I mean, if you do the math, he went up there and he played lights out with a superior team, and they lost in double overtime in that game. This year, he's not playing particularly well. He's not been terrible, but he's not been playing particularly well. They don't have the skill set that they had on the outside. And so why would you think they're going to go up there and win this year, especially the way that they played recently? Even the blowout wins that they've had, like with Boston College, they did not play well, for a good portion of that game. So I'm just not surprised. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure that they're done losing this year. And that's just the truth. I mean, they don't look the same. Does that mean the dynasty's over?
You're not the first Clemson fan that has jumped in here with
I'm
that.
not a Clemson fan. I'm not a Clemson fan.
Oh, you're okay. Perfect. Appreciate you, Bill.
Well,
Sorry about that.
Lonzo knows who I am.
Yeah,
but,
he just popped his SC shirt at me when I said that. But
it's not me being biased. Listen, things are different. I'm not saying that they can't turn around. I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about in the future. But you can't tell me this is the same team that we've seen 2-3 years ago. It's just not. The program looks different.
It does. And I think, Billy, and I appreciate the phone call, but it's great to have you on the air. Hope you'll check back in soon. They do not have the same feel about them, to be honest, right? Like they don't. It doesn't feel like the program that you used to be afraid to line up against. There's a little bit of loss of swag, and that's going to come with the territory, right? Especially when you get bumped out of the playoffs. But the question is that gone? Can it be recaptured, or has the cycle brought Clemson back into, regular guy territory where they got to re-jump, where they got to start everything over? Whether the answer is yes or no to that, the thought that just switching DJ for Cade is going to fix the problems? Nope. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Stay right there, Stream. Be right back. Don't go nowhere. I just gave a hell of an answer and realized my microphone was off. Thanks to the mom for pointing that out.
Well, before you get to that, I may have to go home. I just got hit by a wall of stank that I just cannot recover from. I mean, don't go in there for an hour at least. Oh,
So
what
go
is
downstairs.
what is wrong with those people?
Yeah, we should get hazard pay for some of the things people in the bathroom.
I mean, this is not a bit. This is not me joking.
Lonzo came in looking sick.
I am ready to. It was. Remember, always hold your breath before you go in there, and it did not do that.
Gross.
It's bad. Oh. It's not Rob's fault that he was muted. He doesn't know how to make the sausage. He's sorry. Okay.
So to go back to the question that is still on the screen, because I did not realize that I was off when I gave frankly, a world-class explanation, to be honest. To answer your question, Trey, the answer is yes. DJ did get his hand stepped on. After that game, you could see the gash in his hand. And no, I would not be surprised to find out that.
Hey, Rob, I have to interrupt you. Are we doing this or are we not doing this?
I don't know. Should we?
You got 10 seconds to let me know.
Yeah, run it. What the heck? We didn't do it last
Okay.
week, and it's a short segment.
All right.
I'll find one really good one.
I realize all I do is interrupt, and it was
really embarrassing.
It was an awesome answer too, but now you just don't have time.
Trey, the
for
answer
it.
is yes, and that's why I'm not pushing the panic button on DJ. Is what it comes down to, right? Like that in the win, it just is what it is. Time for Lonzo's favorite segment of the week. Time for Faces and Heels, where we take a look at some socially ambiguous situations and try to figure out who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. It is time for Faces and Heels. I got a good one here, Lonzo. I got a good one here. It is a dad. It is a dad, a younger dad, 37. Has a daughter who is 14. I think I said 14, but I don't know. Anyway, says that his daughter has a nickname that is a shorter version of her regular name. So, like, it's not her name, but like she goes by Becky instead of Becca, right? Or goes by Becky instead of Rebecca. She goes by Becky. Well, the daughter has asked the pops multiple times, I don't want to go by my full name. I want to go by my nickname. I want to go by Becky instead of Rebecca. Pop says, I don't mind that she does that around her friends, but I'm getting tired of the way she corrects me when I introduce her. I use her full name because that's the name that her mom and I gave her, and I don't consider the nickname her real name. But when I introduce her, she will immediately correct me like I called her a dirty word or something, and then will act distant toward the conversation. It's embarrassing because whoever I'm trying to introduce her to sees her disrespecting me like that, and it puts a damper on the whole mood. It happened again today, and finally I had enough. I told her, drop the attitude and stop disrespecting me. I love my daughter, but I'm at my wit's end. I don't see anything wrong with introducing her by her real name, and I think she's being oversensitive and rude, but my friend says I should respect her and her desire to be called a name that, in my opinion, is not her name.
Dad, it's Becky.
Becky. Look at, never mind. That's from a song. I know.
It sure is, and I cannot lie. The teenage girl is a heel, but she's a heel because she's a teenager. Almost all teenagers, by definition, are heels because you got a lot of stuff going on in there emotionally, and you know, and you're growing in ways that just you're trying to become the person you are. That's not the person that he would like to see her be. I could also go back to poor parenting and say the first time that she corrected him, he should have punished her in some way. Like take away her phone for a week, and then Becky wouldn't know what to do. Why would you choose Becky when you could have been
Well,
Rebecca?
that's not actually it. It was just an example.
Okay, all right.
So
what you're saying is you had that song on your mind, and that's why
no,
Becky
but if
came
you
from.
hear Becky and you're my age, that's where it goes. Look at the okay. So we have a generational breakdown for the first time in a long time because Pops is the heel here, right? Pops is the heel.
No way.
Pops is the heel. If she asked to be called something ridiculous, like she's like, if he's like, this is my daughter Rebecca, Dad, I told you to call me Deathwing. Like, no, I'm not calling you Deathwing. All right, Becky, I'm not calling you Deathwing. I'll call you Becky before I call you Deathwing. All right, I'm not calling you that.
Deathwing would be kind of a cool name, by the way.
She asked to be called a shorter version of her name, like not change the name, and most people, if they hear Becky, usually infer, okay, her name's Rebecca. But here's the thing. This is not like a 5-year-old child. This is a teenager who is coming into her own with her own identity. And there's nothing wrong with just wanting to be a different version of your name. I can tell you to some degree.
You're right. It's a teenager who needs to respect authority. And if she's able to correct her father that way, what's to stop her from correcting her boss or no boss? That's not my name.
If I walked into this office and my boss was like Robert, I would have no problem going, I prefer to be called Robert.
No. If he calls you Robert, you're like, oh crap, I'm done. I am done.
Listen, this to some degree happened in my family, right? Because my first name is Robert, but my grandpa was Bob. My dad was Bobby. And I don't want to be either one of those things, but I just wanted to be Rob. I'm Rob Brown. In my mind, I've always been Rob Brown. That being said, my mom calls me Robert, right? If she introduces, this is my son, Robert. I have never once been like, Mom, call me Rob, because I don't care. It's my mom. She can call me. If she called me, hey, Boathead, I'd be like, okay, right? I probably deserve that. I got a problem with it.
But my mom called me all kinds of names, but I can't say them.
But the daughter is not asking you to call her something else, right? Like if her name was Rebecca and she's like, nah, I think I want to be Sarah today. Like, no, I'm not changing your name every single day, right? But she just asked for a shortened version of her name. You have got to allow her to establish her own identity to some sort, right? And if the most rebellious thing that your teenager asks you to do is to be called a different name. Lonzo, if I came on this show and I called you by your first name every day, like your actual name, you'd be like, dude,
all right,
stop.
first of all, Lonzo is my actual name, so don't act like it's a made-up name. It's my middle name, but it's the name that I've gone from a shortened version of that my entire life, but I was also told by people that I couldn't use that name because I couldn't live up to it, and I have. Anyway.
I like it.
Anyway, if you want to call me Gerald, you go ahead, but you are it's not gonna roll off your tongue. It's not gonna sound right.
Not now.
Yeah, that name is still my name. I even looked into getting rid of it because I don't like it.
Because you have a preference about your name.
Yeah,
which is absolutely fine
but
for whatever reason.
But by the way, I don't. When I go somewhere, if the boss calls me that name, I'm not going to go, boss. I'm not going to answer to that.
See,
you call me by the name that I prefer, or I'm just not going to talk.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that because it's disrespectful to authority.
I don't think it's disrespectful to go, my name is, please call me that, right?
You still, I mean, angsty. just angsty.
It is angsty, but angsty comes from a place of disrespect, right? Like angsty is when you feel disrespected, and you get angsty when you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. It would be one thing if I walk in.
I think this is more about political differences than it is anything.
I don't think this has anything to do with
I think it does. I think it does. I think there's more respect on one side and less and more respect me on the other side.
Yes. There is nothing wrong with demanding respect for
I
yourself.
know that I am 14 years old. I know that you pay for everything that I have. I know you're the reason why I have a place to stay, but you're going to respect me and call me by what I want to be called. That is a harsh lesson that she's going to learn in life when she gets out and tries to say that to a boss. And then she's sitting on the curb with that box that you talked about earlier going, why am I out here? He should have respected me and called me by the name that I told him I should be called by.
I think it is one thing. Like if the boss walks in and he's like, Rob, I need you to cut this audio today. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that.
By the way,
me.
Joey, stop it.
It is one thing. It is one thing if the boss comes in and goes, do this. And I go, no, don't do that. And respect me. Right? No, now you're not living up to your job. It's another
thing. It's the same thing, dude.
No, it's absolutely not.
If
your boss if my boss comes in and goes, hey, Robert, I got no problem going, my name is Rob and I prefer to be called Rob, please and thank you. And if he does it a second time to go, no, my name is Rob, right? I'm not, there are spots where you have autonomy and your name should be one of those times, right? Should be one of those times.
You know, going forward, when people get mad, you're from now on Robert.
Yeah, I live with my mom.
And we know what my name will be going forward. Right. So, I mean, and I'm not even going to say the name.
100%. I get
that. I'm counting on people forgetting.
But again, if somebody asks you, by the way, politely, because he said she started this and was like politely like asking me, and then eventually if somebody over and over and over does it, right? And eventually you just get to the point where like, you are now doing this intentionally to disrespect me. It is okay to ask for respect, even from someone who has authority. Just because you have an authority position over me doesn't mean that I am subservient to you.
No one said subservient, but at the same time, being respectful is knowing your place. And her place is to be the daughter and be respectful of her parent. When she's 18, she can have this conversation.
That's a really good way to get your 18-year-old who is now known as Becky to go, yeah, I got no reason to talk to you. I got no respect for you.
Well,
you don't respect me. I don't respect you.
That's fine.
Right?
When she's 18, she's no longer living at home. Then she can make those decisions.
And then we get the post from the same dad going, my daughter's 21 and she won't talk to me. Why not? All you had to do was call her Becky.
Because she's
all you had to do was
dumb and
her.
She wants to be called Becky instead of Rebecca. Rebecca is a much more beautiful name than Becky.
All you had. See, here's the thing, right?
I hope my sister-in-law is not listening.
My mom still calls me Robert because that's my full name. And I've never asked her not to call me that.
I think the reason why your mom still calls you that is because that's what moms do when you're in trouble and you're constantly in trouble. So why even bother?
She calls me Robert, and I've never asked her not to. And I know for a fact that if I said to my mom, hey, I really do prefer to be Rob, please call me Rob, she would go, okay, fine. She would hate it, but I get it, right? Because that's my birth name. It matters to her. There's a reason I have that.
And what if it slipped? What if it slipped and she accidentally called you Robert?
I had no problem with a slip.
And then you said, no, Mom.
No problem with that.
I said, I want to be called
no problem
Robert.
With that. But this guy says every time I introduce her as her full name, right? All you have to do is not do that.
All right. By the way, this is
solved.
probably the biggest argument we've had during this segment, and this is the first time I don't get where Rob's coming from. And
thank you for using my preferred name.
Well, yeah, because I'm respectful.
Because you're respectful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
ladies and gentlemen, revelation
all right,
is here.
All right. You know what you've just done.
I don't.
And you
just deemed me Robert the rest of the show.
yes, you have Robert.
Right, but
and you can
got the point, Gerald.
You can call me. That's fine. See, it doesn't even sound right when you say it.
Really
does
it?
It doesn't.
Really, listen, I got away.
That's my anonymity name. That's when I go to the doctor's office, so I don't have to worry about people perking up going.
I got away when I got here calling Zozo before we worked with each other.
But only because it's trolling somebody else. That's only, and you guys know who it's trolling.
Correct.
Because you never let me do it. You're right. I did.
Because you said, please don't call me that. It's not my preferred name. #respect.
That's different though.
Like we're making progress
that's
here.
different. That's different. It's not a parent. It's not someone being subservient to the other. It's not someone of authority. Because because that person has no authority over me. So it's not, it's not. And neither do you. So, I mean, but this
right,
is
which
just,
is why if I said, "Hey, Zoe," and you went, "Hey, don't call me so," I
all
wouldn't
right.
call you
All
Zoe.
right. Here's the point where I have to go. You're right, Rob, because we
We're out
gotta
of
go.
time.
We gotta go.
We got another dude who works on a station who has a preferred on-air name, and I don't think I've ever
By the
called
way,
him his real
by
name.
the way, there are a lot more than you know.
No, I know that.
Yeah, because they're
Hell, I would bet the majority of people up here go by something on air that is not their actual name. And you know what I call them when we're out in public?
some of
Their
them.
stage name.
Some of them like take the name of a vehicle.
I'm just saying. All right. Let's take a break. Back after this, we'll wrap this bad boy up. Texture says, Rob, what's on your pay stub? It doesn't matter. I'm asking you to call me a particular thing. It's not that hard to do.
Good break.
Back after this on the Rob Price Show in the Fan Upstate.
And yes, Rob painted me into a corner near the end because he knew that I stopped paying attention to a degree because I was looking at the clock, and he took advantage because that's what intellectuals do over
I just
over
repeated-
lessers like
I just
people like
repeated what
me.
you said. I just repeated what you said.
This is the same kind of thing as kids calling their parents by their names. It's just if you want to call me old, that's fine. I'm old. Whatever.
If the mom says, please don't call me that, call me mom, and that kid listens, what do we call that? It's a sign of respect.
I've even went to the point where, I mean, people know Cameron's on the show with me on Saturday. He never calls me by my name. He calls me by dad. And by the way, that's not what you're supposed to do on radio.
Oh, by the way, mom is still mom.
But
100%.
I know that it bothers him to say my name on the air, so I just let it go.
Sure.
Because I'd rather him not be bothered.
Sure. Mom is mom. She will always be mom. I don't care how old she gets, how old I get. She will always be mom. Dad was always dad. I never called my dad. When I worked for my dad, right? I worked for my dad in summer times for a number of years during high school. When I worked for my dad, it was Mr. Brown, just like everybody else in that office as a sign of respect. And then when we're out of work, it was dad. It was always be dad. My mom calls me Robert because I've never asked her not to call me Robert, right? I'm fine because that's my mom. If she wants to call me, she could call me Boathead and I will live with that forever. Got no problem with it.
Does she call you that?
Sometimes. I also am recognizing as I go, because I was trying to think of another example of somebody who has called me Robert when I've asked them to stop. Not only do most people call me Rob, most people call me Rob Brown. Like full name.
Like it's one word.
Like it's one name. Like it's ROBROWN, Rob Brown.
Thank you for spelling it because I wouldn't have got it if you
Well, I'm
hadn't.
saying that like there wouldn't be two B's in the middle. It's just ROBROWN.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
Rob Brown.
thought that. But okay.
Yeah, if Muhammad Ali's dad wants to call him Cassius, he's going to call him Cassius. Absolutely. I got no problem with that. Unless Muhammad Ali told his dad, hey, please don't do that. And by the way, not everybody has a great relationship with their parents. I understand that. And I feel for those people. I really do. Trey
Yeah, Rob,
said-
because if I had a dad, I'd call him whatever he told me to.
Sure, and I did too.
No, I said if I had one.
Trey said Rob is lucky that he is in a Trip or a Trey. I wanted to be like my dad and be called Billy. Trey, if you want to be called Billy, dude, change your screen name to Billy, and I got no problem calling you that. I don't know exactly who you are.
Trey is a cool name. I don't know. I mean,
When I was
at
just
least
saying,
it's not Gerald. I mean, be thankful for that, Trey.
I worked for my dad, and there was a lady who worked in his closing department who called me Trey. And I never understood that, right? Never understood that. I'm like, why are you calling Trey? And after a while, she's like, you're Robert Brown III.
Oh, I get it. I get it now. I
Never clicked,
didn't.
'cause I'm
Yeah.
the third, right? Never clicked why she called me Trey, but she called for like a whole summer. She called me Trey, and finally I asked her, and she's like, because you're the third. I was telling this story.
By the way, I've never heard that before till now, but I got it as
Yeah.
you were starting to explain it. So.
I had never heard that before. She called me Trey for like a summer, and she was like, was like a VP, so like I never questioned it, right? Because I didn't hate it, I just didn't understand it. So eventually, I asked her, and she's like, "Because you're the third, so you're Trey." And I'm like, "Okay, I get it now." I was telling this story one time at school. I had a buddy named Trey Richard that was in high school with me. I'm telling this story to Trey Richard, and he looks at me. He's like, "You know my name is Robert, right?" I was like, "Nah, your name's Trey." He's like, No. My name is Robert Blank Richard III. I go by Trey. I'm like, I literally have never heard that before. This kid had gone by Trey since he was literally a child. I had known him for 12 years at that point. Had no idea his first name was Robert because nobody ever called him anything but Trey. Now I got to search Facebook to see if that dude.
I even went when I was in college. I tried to do the Gerald thing. It just didn't work. It just doesn't even sound right. There's a couple of people at high school that call me that, but they do it in a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
All right, time for Twitter trending topics where we don't talk about sausage. We don't talk about names. We do talk about the Powerball, which is trending right now, though.
So the Powerball ticked up to just shy of $2 billion, $2 billion with a B, and they did the drawing last night. And of course, they did not. No. They did the drawing, but they have to certify it. And so basically, everybody in America woke up today to see if they were going to work or not. And Powerball came out and was like, yeah, we did the drawing, but because there are so many tickets out and there's so much money involved, I think that if nobody hit the winner tonight, it becomes the highest Powerball ever. People woke up to see if they had to go to work, and Powerball was like, yeah, we got it. Hang on. Like, there's a lot out there we got to certify.
Yeah, what it was is one state didn't do things correctly as far as security goes. And so they couldn't do it yet. They were waiting for them to follow whatever the protocol was.
Really?
And they didn't say which state it was, but because of that, I don't know if the drawings happened yet, but it's supposed to happen sometime during the day today. And then they're supposed to put it out on their YouTube page and you can find out that way. So I don't know if they've done it yet, but one state said, nah, man, I ain't doing it that way. And it held everybody up.
Do you buy Powerball? You bought tickets?
My wife will do that on occasion.
Yeah.
It's not it's 1.5 billion. We need to do it today. It's just whenever she decides to do it.
Courtney and I had this conversation about how hilarious it is that whenever it ticks above the 1B mark, we buy tickets, right? And we buy a couple of tickets. Like, I think I looked them up yesterday. Your odds in hitting the Powerball are like 1 in 292 million or something like that, right? So anytime it gets to like 1.5 bill, we buy it. And we're like, do you understand that while the lump sum at 1.5 bill is probably only going to work out to like $800 million when it's all said and done, our lives would be so radically changed if we just won $1 million, right? If we just won $1 million, our entire lives would be radically changed.
You're not going to sing now, are you?
I thought about breaking into a song, but you don't know the choreography, so I decided not to. I don't know why it is that like $1 billion seems to, when the Powerball's at like 800 million, why is it less attractive than when it hits the B to $1 billion?
I don't. I think people may think that if they had to share, the more there is, the more they'd still be able to bring in. Maybe that's it. You know,
how many of y'all see? Because we've got our plan worked out, right? If we hit it, we're calling a lawyer first, and ain't a soul in our family find it out until we bought whatever island.
All right, I'm going to interrupt this program right now.
Because you want to fit something else in.
Because I want to give away Furman tickets.
Fair enough. Let's do that.
Let's give away 2 tickets to Friday's game. Be caller number 4.
Taking on Belmont, who, by the way, have the greatest play-by-play group in America.
I'm waiting for you to do it. So call now.
You got to do the rest.
I was going to do that. So make sure you call right now, and you can win 2 tickets to the game. It's still too much emotion. You've lost it. You got to hear. There we go. So call now, caller number 4, and you can win those Furman tickets.
Caller number 4 right now is getting 2 tickets when they take on Belmont.
And the number
844-FAN phone 844-326-3663. Caller number 4 right now is going to win a pair of tickets to Friday night's Furman basketball contest against Belmont. Listen, I hope Furman wins unless Belmont walks it off with a 3 and you get to hear, oh, which I'm all in for. Caller number 4 right now, 844-326-3663, is getting a pair of tickets to that contest Friday evening. Jim Rome's up next. Mark Ryan and Dees will take you offsides at 3. Caller number 4 getting the tickets, and we will see you back here tomorrow on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. I don't know how to make sausage.
You are the winner. Please hold.
All right, guys. I appreciate you all very much. Have yourself a lovely rest of your